Welcome to the NFC West Roundtable, a weekly live show featuring top-tier insight and analysis on all things NFC West from the best creators in the division, including Los Angeles Rams creator Jake, San Francisco 49ers creator Jesse, Seattle Seahawks creator Brandon, and Arizona Cardinals creator Mike. Catch the NFC West Roundtable every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on the NFC West Roundtable YouTube channel. What is up, NFC West football fans, and welcome into another edition of the NFC West Roundtable. Week 9 is in the books. The NFL trade deadline is in the books. What a wild past few days it has been. Last week, almost the entire division didn't play football. This past weekend, the entire division played. The entire division won. 4 for 4. A W for the Seahawks, a W for the Cardinals, a W for the Rams, a W for the Niners. On this episode, we will recap all 4 victories within the NFC West. We'll also touch on what happened at the NFL trade deadline, including a new weapon added to Sammy Darnold's arsenal out in Seattle. And of course, we look forward to week 10, where it does not get better than this. 2 games within the division. You know what that means. 2 divisional showdowns. We'll give you our preview and predictions of 2 interdivisional matchups coming your way later on in the week. But for now, let's dive into what we saw this past weekend. Let's bring in the fellas. Brando, Mike, Jake, and Jesse. And Brandon, you're wearing your shades for more reasons than one this evening. Not only do your Seahawks absolutely dominate in prime time this past weekend, but they said, you know what? It just wasn't good enough. 38-14 over the Commanders. Sam Darnold, 21-24, 334 TDs. JSN, you're playing like one of the best receivers in the league. Why don't we go out and add a little bit more to this offense? That's what the Seattle Seahawks did before the trade deadline. The Seattle Seahawks, they make a deal with the New Orleans Saints to acquire wide receiver Rashid Shaheed. Seattle sends a 2026 fourth rounder and a fifth rounder to New Orleans to bring in the wideout. And as you can see in the bottom right of your screen, Jesse, not loving it. Brandon, you're loving it. Talk to me about the move made this afternoon.
Jesse's a smart man from time to time, and he's right on this one. That's because the Seattle Seahawks are getting hot. It's coming together. They're getting better bit by bit as they win 6 of their last 7 games, a 10-game road winning streak. Sam Darnold setting records across the board, and then, you put this trade on top. What does this do for you? Quite a lot. I've talked about it. It is even maintained in this Washington game after this last week. A team that's not built to really stack boxes, a team that's not really built to try to put that much down the line. They did so again this past week. And what did Sam do to him? Stabbed him in the heart with a dagger over and over again. 47 knife wounds by the time that thing was over with. And what now do you have with this guy? An ability to get deep back over the top. Take the top of the defense off. Make you have to force those double teams his way. You want to start trying to double JSN? Oh, now you're going to single up Shaheed? Oh, you want to bring all those guys down around the line of scrimmage? Oh, good luck. Now we get one-on-ones with Shaheed on the outside. And oh, by the way, he's played in this offense before. He's got ultimate familiarity. So you can't even just say, well, he's going to be learning the ropes. He's not going to know the terminology. No, he had the best start to his career in the first 6 games of the year last year before he went down to injury in the Clint Kubiak system. And Kubiak had him at his highest depth of target in his entire career. And this guy was already known for being a burner, a guy to take the top off the defense. He does it with him even better.
So you're looking at the compensation. That feels like a pretty decent package in terms of what Seattle gave up when you saw initially what they were willing to give up for Shaheed. What was your initial reaction, and did you feel pretty comfortable with it?
Well, I would be interested as much to hear some of what the boys are going to say on this as far as their perspective with this deadline, because I was not the only team in this division that was maybe looking to make some moves. My take on it is that when you look at the few moves that were made, you look at some of the high prices paid out, that this was a seller's market, not a buyer's market. That part of that pool that was so small that you had to pick from meant that if you were going to make a move, you were going to have to come from that top rope and come down hard with it. And I would estimate that even within its own division, the Rams might have been in with the Seahawks on this one of trying to compete and might have taken this offer to push it over the top. The other part of this to consider is the fact the Seahawks have built a pretty stacked up team at this point that's got a lot of young players that are going to be here for years to come. Not a lot of pending free agents that you're worrying about the loss that you got to fill up the draft with. And then as well, every pundit that I've heard talk about this upcoming draft, the analysts, guys look at it from the outside in, sometimes just college guys looking at it, all to a man say that this is not a particularly strong draft. And in fact, it's one of the weaker drafts that they've seen in recent years. Combined with that, the fact that we're going to be picking at the end of the round, you kind of gave up an early 5th round pick and an early 6th round pick from my perspective.
Let's spin it around the table. What an absolutely wild trade deadline it was. Tons of moves in comparison to years past. Right before the deadline, you had 3 receivers be moved. You had the New York Jets in real time announce to the world, yep, we're tanking, we're selling our entire team. We just got rid of the faces of our franchise. You acquire numerous first-round picks in the New York Jets. They trade Sauce Gardner out of absolutely nowhere. The Colts go from being a team that can't find a quarterback to all of a sudden having the offensive player of the year, having a quarterback, and putting all their chips in the middle of the table, giving up a young receiver and 2 first-round picks. Also, you have Jerry Jones and the Cowboys saying, oh, we traded Micah Parsons before the season. We're 3-5-1. Let's go acquire Quinnen Williams. So a wild afternoon. Let's spin it around. Jake, starting with you. What did you make of the trade deadline this afternoon?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome for Seattle. I thought that was a genius move. It's funny, they were talking about it on the broadcast, how yeah, you could pretty much just the reason why Seattle's destroying teams is because they can't stop the run, and now teams are having to play bump and run. Well, I think what this is going to really do, bring in Shaheed, is it's going to force you now. You have to kind of play cover too, and you're forced to because of that speed, but also JSN speed, and you turn around and of course you have some other guys as well. I mean, Torrey Horton is somebody that you guys know I loved him in the draft, and we finally saw him get a chance. So this is a really smart move from a team that I believe is the second best team in football. I think Seattle is an absolute blast to watch. I think they play the game the right way. They have a physical defense. They take the football away, and then they're able to pound the rock, and they also have a really exciting, high-octane passing attack and a special teams unit that's the best in the league. So, with that said, absolutely love that they made this from a football fan. Obviously, if you're a Rams fan, you're not feeling great about this, but at the same time, it is what it is. I want to say this, though. I feel like way too many people are giving Howie Roseman way too much credit, because I will say this right now. Just because you made 4 trades doesn't mean you're better than everybody else. Doesn't mean they were really aggressive. Yeah, they were aggressive because the team wasn't built to win the Super Bowl yet. That's what they're telling us. The Seattle Seahawks knew they didn't need to make a ton of moves. They made 1, and this could put them over the top. So I understand not every team operates in that way, but I do think we have to stop looking at who makes bulk moves and just think like, oh yeah, this team, they're just so great. And look at that GM, like going out and doing that. To me, the way I see it is that the Eagles had actual needs. And that to me is I would say it's a flawed roster. I don't think they were going to win the Super Bowl without making those moves. So you weren't ready. You didn't have the offseason. And why did they do that? There's a strategy to it. But what if it didn't work out? The strategy that Howie Roseman has, it's not hard to see. Howie Roseman wants to let all of these guys go, get all of the compensatory picks, and then he's just going to get guys at the deadline and cash in on those compensatory picks. So it's just a nonstop thing, and that sounds great. But now you need, teams to trade to you, and you're not always going to get this opportunity. So what I'm saying is, you look at Seattle, and they got a lot of, people were laughing at them. I thought Seattle did a great job this offseason and the way they put their roster together. And I don't think that's talked about nearly enough. They were laughed at for getting rid of Geno Smith. I didn't understand it. They were laughed at for getting rid of DK Metcalf. And now they look better than both of those teams that they traded them to by a country mile.
Brandon, I'm glad I got my money down whenever I was asked in the chat, who you think's winning the West. I didn't know Shaheed was coming. I didn't know they were going to lay the hammer down on Sunday night. So my Seattle Seahawks looking pretty damn good right now in the middle of this NFC. Jesse, I saw your reaction earlier. This is one of those ones, and I know this is what I love about this division. You can tell a move was good when you see a reaction like that of Jesse's. So talk to me about the deadline and, of course, the Seahawks move for Shaheed here.
I mean, as soon as I saw it, I just spelled out a big F-bomb on Twitter. That's all I could do. Last week we talked about trades, and we were talking specifically about the Rams getting a wide receiver. And we talked about some big name wide receivers. And what did I say? The wide receiver that would scare me the most if he ended up with the Rams was Rashid Shaheed, because he's so different than all the other receivers we're talking about. The Rams already had their possession guys. They just needed somebody who can take the top off, and that's exactly what Rashid Shaheed does. Now he goes to the Seahawks, and it was the same exact thing. JSN is their big play guy, but he can work any part of the field. You've got Horton, who was a hell of a draft pick. They stole him in that draft as is. Cooper Kupp's whatever. I mean, it's not a big deal, but Rashid Shaheed added to that, going back with his old offensive coordinator. And, listen, I don't think Sam Darnold is the greatest quarterback in the world. There's no working around that. But what I will say is he absolutely has an arm to go get the ball to Rashid Shaheed, and he has some pretty good deep ball accuracy. So this move absolutely is a needle mover for the Seattle Seahawks. Their defense has already been on point. We'll see what's going on with Jones when he's back. But overall, the Seattle Seahawks absolutely won this trade. Huge for them. I am curious, though. Very similar to what the Jaguars gave up in a 4th and a 6 to go get Jacoby Myers. I think Rashid Shaheed definitely fits the Seahawks a lot better than Myers would have. But both of these guys' contracts are up at the end of the year. So if Rashid Shaheed is not re-signed, is it worth it to have given up that much draft capital? A lot of times what you see is the pick swap, later round pick swap, what have you. I would like to get Brandon's opinion. Do you think that they're going to re-sign Shaheed? And if they don't, was it worth it for a half a year rental, in your opinion?
In the early reporters from Seahawks are reporting out that there's going to be an intention to move him in long term and try to extend him long term. Okay. Obviously, you're going to have to find a creative contract within it because he's not going to be a $20 million a year kind of guy. It's easy enough to do this when you consider the fact that Seattle Seahawks are sitting on so much cap space this offseason. Yes, a JSN needs to be re-signed. Yes, Charles Cross needs to be re-signed. But you're sitting on, I think, like top 5 amount of cap space for next year. And you can move off of Kupp and save about $9.5 additional million. So you could essentially move Kupp's contract over to Shaheed after this year, and you'll be just perfectly fine doing so on that side of it. But I mean, look at what happened with the Rams a couple of years ago when they went at that Von Miller trade. That was an older Von Miller, a guy that had torn his ACL. He wasn't prime Von Miller. They gave up his 2nd and 3rd round pick for just the back end of the schedule for him and said, this kind of move can take us over the top. I'm not saying he's going to have as measurable an impact as Miller did to that defense, but I am saying that this is a little bit of a cost of doing business type of situation. And you can attest to this. I've been consistent with you in these conversations with the Niners in recent years, saying this is the type of stuff you should do. When you guys made that McCaffrey trade, we talked about it and I said, yeah, Jesse, that's exactly what you should be doing in these situations. Know where you're at and be aggressive when the timing is right.
Yeah, and Jake alluded to this a minute ago in talking about the Eagles. You can't underestimate these moves with the way the NFC is stacking up right now. I mean, you currently have 5 teams with 2 losses, and that's not including San Francisco, who hasn't had their bye with 6 wins. So it's just loaded. Any little move could ultimately end up being the biggest difference. Mike, I'll go up to you here. What do you make of what you saw during the trade deadline and watching Brandon Seahawks add another weapon for Sam Darnold?
Yeah, man, damn Seattle Seahawks, man. Definitely beat everybody out here from the freaking NFC West. I was expecting a little bit more action from the NFC West, not from my boys. I mean, of course, I had a hopeful thought that we were going to do something, but now we kind of stay pat. So no big deal, but overall, it was a really good move, man. Rashid Shaheed's a really good playmaker. Unfortunately, he ended up kind of his career with the Saints, and we all know the state of the Saints right now. So ended up moving on to the Seattle Seahawks, a great playmaker to line him up next to JSN. And let's be real, Cooper Kupp is a signing that had a name to it, but I don't know, guys, the injuries are starting to kind of pile up. And I think right now with Rashid Shaheed, it's a perfect complement over to JSN and Torrey Horton, which I was a pretty big fan of in the draft as well. Unfortunately, the Cardinals couldn't go any wide receiver in the draft, but yeah, man, very good weapon. Sam Darnold's got he's got a choice to pick in the passing game. So definitely really good weapon for them. Sucks for the NFC West, but overall good for them.
Well, real quick. I want to make a plea because we were talking about trade deadline altogether. The New York Jets have a lot of picks, all right? And it sounds like they're going to be trading for a quarterback, maybe not even in the draft. I know that Kyler Murray is going to be available, but why would you take a guy who's been in the league as long as he had? He's a short player. He obviously can't see over the middle. Brock Purdy is the guy that you want. Kids. I'm telling you. You can have him for 2 second-round picks. We don't even want any of your first-round picks. You can have him. He's a franchise guy. All the 49er fans will tell you he's a franchise guy. He's locked up long-term. I hear he plays great in inclement weather, so if you want your guy, Brock Purdy's out here. I'm just saying this offseason, come get him, Jets.
Hold on, Jesse. Let me do the
eat
New
him
York
alive.
Jets. I'm the Jets GM. Well, I'm hearing what you're saying on that, but they're just saying a third for the little guy.
Listen, the little guy's like 30 years old at this point. He just runs around. It's just Brock Purdy's young. He's a franchise guy, 2 second-round picks, and you still keep all your first rounders. This is a no-brainer.
Rounders,
Come
you
on.
just raise the price on me.
The Jets need to go after an actual quarterback.
Well,
That's
it's funny you're bringing this up because if you Google LA Rams trade deadline, one of the first things that pops up is a Reddit thread saying that the Jets have set themselves up perfectly for the Matthew Stafford succession plan.
Here
That
we
is
go.
what I saw earlier today. Yes.
That's wild.
Here we go.
So we are right on the money here in terms of talking about this. But by the way, how about the state of the AFC East? How about it? Let's give a round of a shout out to Richie. At least he's getting some picks. I can't say the same for my main man, TD, who my Buffalo Bills play this upcoming weekend. They said
Hold on. What's Observe talking about, bro? I got a full head of hair. All right, I'm 42 years old. I got a full head of hair. Listen, you can talk about gray hair. You can say a lot of things about me, but do not talk about that hairline. All right, it's pretty good for my age. Give me some credit. All right.
What's happening?
Oh,
So
well,
he said that trade Purdy for a new hairline or something.
Oh,
Like that.
Oh my God,
man.
Well, hey,
speaking.
if the Jets want Jimmy Garoppolo, he'll be available next year. So
We were talking Jimmy G. Were we talking Anthony Richardson? I think last week too.
Oh,
I
good
mean,
Lord.
listen, the sky's the limit in terms of what we wind up working with quarterback wise.
You're all selling hard. It's Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's going to be a Jet. Stop it. Stop
Probably, yeah.
He
I
probably
think
is.
that makes the most sense.
because the Jets are the definition of insanity.
it. Hey,
They just do the same thing over and over and over again. They
Does
know
you guys
it's
have
not
any-
working. And it's just like, oh, if we put in new names that play similarly to the old names, well, maybe it'll be good. And it just doesn't work out.
Do you guys think they're going to do anything with these picks, or don't we all pretty much know that this thing's going to go south?
they're gonna be terrible.
I feel like they could, but Woody Johnson is too involved with this organization. I just can't feel confident in anything. Until he's gone, I can't feel confident in anything the Jets do.
They've drafted exceptionally well on the defensive side of things, fellas, and they never sniffed the playoffs. Even if they nail these draft picks, they cannot get a quarterback.
Do you know
play
why?
well.
Because they threw Saleh under the bus and they threw Rodgers under the bus. And if you're wondering why all those guys wanted to leave today, it's because all of them were Rodgers guys. They were all like, we like it here. This is awesome. The culture. Don't listen to what you see on, people hate him. I don't give a rip. I'm about winning football games. I don't care if you like him, off the field. I don't give a rip. What I do know, and everybody that I talk to, okay, because I'm a little in tune with the Jets. They loved Rodgers there. They loved him. The players loved him. They wanted to fight for him. And when you push him out the way they did, and you find out the way it happened, and Rodgers told those guys, hey, Aaron Glenn just didn't want me. Like, how do you think that works for those players there?
Not to mention Woody Johnson just blackballing Justin Fields to the media a couple weeks ago, too. It's incredible.
I mean, Justin Fields is probably who he is, but,
too.
Guys, you guys are getting caught up in the sauce.
Johnson.
The whole point was just
Literally
get Brock Purdy, all right?
All right.
At the end of the day, listen, there's only two ways this can go with the Jets having that many picks. They either are going to become a contender or that playoff drought's going to be another 14 years.
That's not going to happen.
And I think we all know where we're leaning on that one. Hey, you guys brought up Kyler Murray. Speaking of Kyler Murray, let's talk about his team. Let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals as we transition from the trade deadline to week 9 of the NFL season. The Arizona Cardinals are officially off the schneid. The 5-game losing streak comes to an end on Monday Night Football as they head to Jerry World and dominate behind Jacoby Brissett's 261-yard, 2-touchdown performance. The Cardinals win 27-17. That score is a little bit deceiving, too, because the Cowboys get one of their lone scores on a blocked punt touchdown. The Cardinals defense shut down one of the more elite offenses in the league. Jacoby Brissett continues to play really well. And now from what we're hearing, Jacoby Brissett is going to be the starter for the foreseeable future. So, Mike, your Cardinals, they're at 3-5. They're playing well. What'd you make of Monday night, and how do you kind of see momentum building here for Arizona?
So, real quick, you said 2 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. I put some respect on Jacoby Brissett.
Damn right. I forgot about the sneak, baby.
Jacoby.
Hey.
This game, man, in a nutshell. Obviously, you're going into this game 2-5. Your back's against the wall. You had to do everything you can to get back into the right side of things, to at least try to contend for, at least try to stay relevant and be within some sort of race from the NFC West. We all know that everybody in this division is 6 wins. The Cardinals are fortunately 3 wins in, but man, coming into this game, 2 wins. The Cardinals needed to win this game. And what I saw in this game was Jacoby Brissett took the helm with this offense and ran with it. But it's not really anything new. We've been seeing this last 2 weeks with the Arizona Cardinals. The big difference, I would say, is probably the defense made some really good turnover plays. We harassed Dak Prescott back there, 5 sacks, Walter Nolan, Calais Campbell, Josh Sweat. Everybody got involved.
Talk about it, Mike. Talk about it. Who? Walter? Who? Talk about it.
Yeah. No, it was a very, very good defensive game. They held Pickens as well as CeeDee Lamb in the first half to 28 and 29 yards. Ferguson was irrelevant. At one point, Javonte Williams, their running back, was ripping our defense 10 yards, 15 yards. And you think that they would continue that momentum and continue the run game. They went away with it. And they just put the ball in the hand of Dak Prescott. We sent some crazy blitzes, sent some exotic blitzes, and kind of the rest is history. The Arizona Cardinals forced, 3 fumbles, recovered 2 of them, had an interception with Denzel Burke. Defense masterclass, and we cannot forget the Arizona Cardinals offense, man. 27 points with Jacoby Brissett, and you can't sit here and tell me, man, when the lights are the brightest, right, that this offense runs so much better than Jacoby Brissett's. What I've been saying since he came in here, and I'm so glad that the Arizona Cardinals are now finally starting to shift over to Jacoby Brissett, because we were worried about it, right? Brandon mentioned it last week, and I ended up saying hypotheticals because I never thought that the Arizona Cardinals had the cojones to do something like this, because they only think about the business side of it all. But Jacoby is much better in this offense, stays in the pocket, willing to take the hit, and lets a play to develop. This guy is, I'm not going to say as advertised, but he's a good backup quarterback. Like, he'll win you some games. And we got some weapons here as well. And Trey McBride is just better, man. What are you, 5 touchdowns already? 4 of those with Jacoby Brissett in 3 games. Come on now. It's not even a debate here. Like, he's getting everybody involved. And the Cowboys, and I've seen some people kind of coming out here saying, oh, it's just the Cowboys, it's the Cowboys. One thing I will say is that we held that high tank offense to 17 points. You got to give us some credit there. The defense really showed up, and the Arizona Cardinals put 27 points up, and we didn't fluke on a fourth quarter. So overall, very good game. Positive momentum heading into week 10 versus the Seattle Seahawks. We'll talk about that a little later on, but there is a sense of life now with the Arizona Cardinals. I'm excited about watching Cardinal football again, specifically because we now know Jacoby Brissett's going to be the guy, at least for the foreseeable future. Kyler's out for 8 weeks with that foot injury. We all know it's soft benching, ladies and gentlemen. Jacoby Brissett's season. Here we go.
Let's go, Mike.
Yeah, no doubt. You mentioned the fourth quarter collapse. For those who do not have YouTube TV that had the privilege of watching the football game, they were building up for that fourth quarter collapse, Mike. They kept bringing it up. They kept talking about it on the broadcast.
They wanted it, man.
I know. They had
it's
graphics
the Cowboys
and everything.
Audience, you know?
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. Now, Mike, real quick, you mentioned the weapons. How about Marvin Harrison Jr. in this one? Maybe his best game as a pro, 7 catches, 96 yards, a touchdown, and he was dominant early. I know it's the Cowboys defense. They have not been good this season, but man, that had to feel good on your end, seeing Marvin Harrison Jr. have that type of performance.
Yeah, I would say the best performance this year. I think his best performance in his career was probably against my guy Jake's over there, Rams. Too. Yeah, that was masterclass. But what you saw,
we threw that tape away.
Yeah, you know I did. But in this, yeah, man, we saw Marvin Harrison Jr. specifically in the first half. They kind of went away with him a little bit, but he was cooking. Was it Deron Bland or whatever the heck his name is? Like that screenshot that's going around with him basically breaking his ankles, and CeeDee Lamb going like it's picture perfect, man. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. was a big focal point going into this game. I think one of the main reasons is because you did see Marvin Harrison Sr.'s article that came out on ESPN saying things like, if I was on there, they would retract my Hall of Fame. So I think the Cardinals maybe took it a little personal with, hey, we got to get this number 1 wide receiver the ball, and they did it. They took advantage of a weak secondary over there. It was a lot of comeback routes. That's kind of all it was. But Marvin Harrison Jr. was so close to hitting 100 yards. They could have got it if the game plan for the defense on the second half for the Cowboys didn't change. They were blitzing, and there was just a lot of things happening for the Arizona Cardinals offense that was coming out of sync. But yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. had probably his best performance this year. I'm just hoping that he builds off of it. And we're seeing Trey McBride right now, man. Now people are starting to remember who he is. I know a lot of people drafted him in the first, maybe second round of the fantasy football league. It's now starting to pay dividends. Thank you, Jacoby Brissett.
Mike, good to have you back, brother. It's been far too long. Glad to see you happy and smiling, hoping that the Cardinals can find a way to keep this momentum rolling. But they have a tough task coming up this upcoming weekend. We'll talk about that game in a bit. We'll talk about that team right now as we transition from
Hold on.
Man, you just ruined my whole song and dance there, Jake. I was feeling. Talk to me.
We gotta talk about Walter Nolan.
Of course we do.
You know,
Brando, should I solo screen him or what?
Good for him, but I also am totally using this to bring up Josh Sweat had one of the best games I've ever seen from a pass rusher. And no one is talking about it. He had 11 pressures, folks.
Because Walter Nolan freed him up.
No, it's
joking.
Walter, I mean, if you watch the tape, and I don't expect you guys to do so, he was taking a lot of double teams. They were doubling Walter Nolan, and it's very surprising for a rookie, but he was making things happen when he wasn't showing up in the stat sheet.
Mike, they got their closer. What did I tell you? They got their closer. And if Walter Nolan is going to free that up, and he's going to be, I'm going to call him Michael Brockers here, because that's what the Rams had when they had Donald and Robert Quinn and Chris Long. He freed up those guys.
Yeah.
If that's seriously what you have, and this is what you unlocked, no one cares about what pressures he's going to get and what sacks he's going to get. If he's able to do that, then Josh Sweat, Zaven Collins, and Calais Campbell are going to eat. And if they're going to eat, then they have a chance, because they've had a chance in every single game going into this one. So I'm actually kind of high on the Cardinals right now. The fact that they actually committed to Jacoby Brissett, I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl,
right? But
they're going to be really fun down the stretch, I think.
Yeah. Thanks, Jacoby Brissett.
Brandon, are you
well, I wasn't making sure I'm butting in. So with all things like this is a nuanced position I had, which of course in football, there is no such thing as a nuanced position. It's that you're 100% one way or 0% another way. I never said he wasn't a talented guy or that he's not a capable guy of doing that. It was a question about a motor, engine, and running hot. The man just played his first game of the season. I'd imagine, this first game, he's going to be pretty highly motivated. My outlook on him, though, is probably one that should be under the assessment of a long-term outlook of him to see how that side of it goes. Because Jake or Jesse, for instance, can mention an Alabama tape where he lights the world on fire, but then I could watch 3 other games after that where he goes completely quiet. And so I think we got to say that, and that's where my measure was at. I always had a second-round grade on him. It was about where the value of the pick was at from the Cardinals' perspective. And if I take a guy in the 16th in the first round, well, I've got some I think legit questions about his motor. That's makes me a little bit worried about it. Doesn't mean he isn't really talented, or isn't there a reason that you did pick him there, but I like to go with a little bit more certainty when I'm picking in the first round and save those kind of guys for kind of like the second round.
You'll be able to see his motor in week 10, Brandon. I got you.
I was just going to say, Mike, I think the key here, Walter Nolan needs to assert his dominance this upcoming week, and then we'll see if Brandon is all the way bought in. But you're right. You see him for the first time, and this is a guy that has the explosive ability. It's the matter of being able to put that out on the field consistently. I cannot wait for that game. Couple of awesome games in this division this upcoming weekend. All right, I'm doing take 2 on this. We transition from dun 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 to dun 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 to, I'm just gonna say it, ass kickings from the 2 teams that played in prime time within this division this past weekend. The Seattle Seahawks just went nuclear on the Washington Commanders. This game was 31-7 at the half. The Seahawks scored 24 points in the second quarter. The final score, 38-14 behind a Sam Darnold performance. Man, I thought my Josh Allen performance, 23-26 against the Chiefs, was impressive. Sam Darnold said, hold my beer. 2018 draft class, I'm coming for that crown for week 9 in terms of just an unbelievable masterclass of a performance. Sam Darnold, 21-24, 330, 4 TDs, 1 of the 3 incompletions, and interception, but it didn't cost him. JSN, 129 yards. this team continues to look like one of the more well-rounded teams in all of football. Brandon, what a weekend and past couple of days it's been for you and the 12s. Talk to me about what you saw on Sunday Night Football.
A team playing with all three phases, playing at an extraordinary high level. Jake talked about it earlier in the stream today about the special teams also adding that component that they did, which showed up again in this game with you causing a fumble, your punter punting well, your kicker making his only kick. And I don't want to lead with that, but just that this is a three-phase football team that is all playing at a really high level. Teams continue every single week to say to the Seattle Seahawks, we don't think that Sam Darnold's going to be able to beat us over the top. We don't trust the GSM with one-on-one coverage can beat us up over the top. And week in and week out, that's just what the Seattle Seahawks do. Washington wanted to take away the run game. They wanted to bring a lot of those bodies down there. You took advantage and you cooked them up. And it wasn't just him throwing to JSN. He's finding deep targets down the football field. Torrey Horton is really coming on now here, and he's a guy that's just making ties like Chris Carter. All he does is catch touchdowns, it seems like. He had a crazy inside release to a deep ball that was just a great release and then just showed off the speed to get open down the line. This offense is operating at a very high level in the passing attack, and even though they're not able to run the ball, they're not able to run the ball because, as I've said, they're facing the highest stack box rate in the NFL and one of the highest blitz rates in the NFL. You would not expect any team to run the ball in those kind of conditions. As well, the pass protection is absolutely grade A. No sacks, no pressures allowed. I think we're like on pace for like 9 sacks for the season or something like that. And it's just unbelievable the amount that they have set up. We're talking about Walter Nolan. Good luck going up against Gray Zabel because he's not allowed, I don't believe, even a quarterback hit or a quarterback sack so far this year at the left guard position. Defensively, since that Tampa Bay Buccaneer game, it shook something loose in Mike McDonald. He has gone free and easy with his playbook. He's going deep into his playbook week in and week out. You're getting all the flavor you expected with this guy, and it is absolutely putting these offenses in a bind. Jaden Daniels looked more uncomfortable and confused than I have ever seen him. He was dropping out of clean pockets and early in this game because he was not certain about what he was seeing in the coverages or the fronts in front of him. And by the end of the game, you just had his head spinning. It's not easy to do. He's a very capable, competent quarterback, and just being able to read what he's seeing right, that's part of what made him so good last year. So all the way around, it was a dominating effort. And again, Sam Darnold, it sounds like I'm hearing a little bit in Jesse's voice that I'm maybe starting to come a little bit more closer here. We ain't got him yet. It's starting to maybe dislodge just a little bit there. We're going to get him there eventually because it's eventually going to be undeniable.
Oh, undeniable. Well, what's undeniable right now is the fact that the Seattle Seahawks are number 1 in the NFC West, tied for the best record in the NFC. Real quick, Aiden's coming in. He's saying, give us your Super Bowl predictions as of right now. We'll touch on that when we get to Super Chats, but I want to kind of set the stage here. I do have, and it involves the Seahawks, and it might involve another team in the panel, and it might involve a certain host. There is a science-based nugget I got coming your way when we're talking about the Super Bowl later on during the best part of the show. Super Bowl time would be nice, yes, but Super Chat time is also very good too. I know I said that there was 2 ass kickings in the prime time, by the way. It was really just an ass kicking all around within this division. You go to the Sunday afternoon window, which we'll head to right now, and you saw more of the same. Not only did every team in this division win, but every single team won by double digits. The NFC West, if you needed any more proof that they're the best division in football, you saw it this past weekend. And by the way, not only is this the best division in football, this is the best viewership in all of the roundtable. We are surging towards 1,000 live viewers right now. So I just wanted to take a second to give a shout out to all of you guys late here on a Tuesday night as we head into the second half of the season.
I'm never ready for that. So
incredible stuff. All right, let's move to that Sunday window. Let's talk about the San Francisco 49ers, who just continue to plow through these injuries and get W's. 6-3 now are the Niners after their 34-24 victory over the New York Giants. Man, completion percentage was the theme of the day. We talked about Sam Darnold. I threw in my boy J.A. in there a little bit, but how about Mac Jones? 19-24, 235, 2 touchdowns. And this is one of those, we talked about it a little bit last week, Jesse, where, you saw a couple weeks ago, Christian McCaffrey get a ton of touches. Last week wasn't the same outcome. Back to the 2 weeks ago theme here, where Christian McCaffrey gets 28 carries, 106 yards and a touchdown, then 5 receptions, 67 yards through the air, and another score to win by 10 over the New York Jets on the road. What did you make of the 6th victory of the season for your San Francisco 49ers?
Yeah, I mean, a win's a win. The Giants may not be the best team, but either way, the 49ers went in, took care of business. Unfortunately, they lost Mykel Williams for the year. That was a definite bummer, especially because it's later in the year. And when you talk about young players like Mykel Williams, they don't get to develop as they're preparing for the draft. They're slimming down and trying to run 40 times and get their shuttle speed up and all of these things to go out there and perform and get drafted at a high clip. It's year 2, that offseason is when they really get to hone their craft and try to make leaps to being a better player. And unfortunately, Mykel Williams is now going to have to rehab all next offseason. So we'll see how much that stunts his growth. So that was a major, major bummer. And of course, it happens towards the end of the game when you feel like you're getting out of there scot-free. But I think this was the most complete game from the 49ers. The special teams look good. Defense looked good. Obviously, the offense looked good. The 49ers had a clear game plan. They were going to go out and they were going to run the ball. They were going to be efficient in the pass game. It was actually very similar to the game plan against the Rams. Maybe a little bit more run heavy, but ultimately, like, they were going to play within a tennis court. They were going to spread the Giants out horizontally and keep things easy for Mac Jones. I believe he started 14 of 14 to start that game. Very, very efficient. It started out a little rocky. The Giants came out, went right down the field, scored a touchdown. I was like, oh gosh, here we go. Running the ball right up the gut. And it's like, all right, this is going to be a long day. But then Mac Jones comes right back, leads the offense for a touchdown. The 49ers get a stop, and they get another touchdown. And basically, they never look back. So ultimately, it was a great win for the 49ers. And now all the curiosity sets in because I believe there should be some strategy when you're going to return. There were some questions on whether Brock Purdy was going to return this last week. He might have been the backup quarterback, was talks around Thursday. Then it was emergency quarterback. Ultimately, he didn't dress. The question is he healthy enough to play this upcoming week, or do they roll with Mac Jones? And if he is healthy enough, and he was healthy enough last week, potentially practicing 2 weeks in a row, should he have taken the easy win and go out there and look good in that game against the Giants and kind of get things rolling and ready for this Rams game? Or is it right to just come back against the Rams? I don't know. But ultimately, if this was the last time we see Mac Jones this year, I am very, very proud of his play. He's definitely kept this team afloat, especially with all the injuries that have been out there. He never really got to play with a full deck. Obviously, Ayuk's been out. He had multiple games where he didn't have Jennings or Kittle. Ricky Pearsall's missed most of those games. And Mac Jones has gone out and done his thing. So super proud of him. Super proud of this team with all the injuries that they've had to be able to stay afloat, be 3-0 in the NFC West, go out there and dominate this last week. I feel really good about it. So we'll see how it goes against the Rams. But as far as against the Giants, they did exactly what they needed to do.
You mentioned those Rams. When we get to our previews and predictions, maybe we'll talk a little bit more about the quarterback situation there. Maybe we do see Brock Purdy in that game. We've been talking about this every week. I go, Jesse, we're going to see Brock Purdy. You say, I don't know, maybe, and then we don't. Maybe this week things do change. Now, speaking of those Rams, last week we said, hey, Tyler Shuck, congrats. You won the starting job. Your reward, you got to go and play the LA Rams on the road. And it went exactly how we predicted it. Rams 34, Saints 10. Tyler Shuck in his starting debut, 15 of 24, 176 and a touchdown. Brandon's Rashid Shaheed, by the way, had nearly a third of those receiving yards. Yeah. But Jake, even if Tyler Shuck looked like the next coming of John Elway in this game, it wouldn't have mattered because a quarterback who's awfully similar to that of John Elway in terms of success, Matt Stafford on the other side of things, he was dominating in this one. 24-32, 281, 4 touchdowns. Kyron Williams had a day as well, 25 carries, a $114 and a touchdown. Puka Nacua looking as good as ever, 795 and a score for him as well. No, excuse me, not a score. Score. Sorry. Devontae Adams, by the way, had 2. So these two in tandem right here have been dangerous when they're both out on the field, and you can get Kyron Williams kind of cooking like he was. Look out. So, Jake, your Rams 6-2, right behind those Hawks. What do you make of what you saw from these Rams against the Saints?
Yeah, I mean, this is the best team in the league. I really believe that. I think Seattle's number 2, and I think the 49ers are in that top 10 as well. This is the best division. Obviously, this is not a good football team in the Saints, but the way that they won, it just goes to show you this is the most dominant performance of the entire season, and it doesn't matter about the score. The Rams had the time of possession. They almost had the ball for 44 minutes. That's a season high. Nobody has had the ball that long. They had it all game. They were doing whatever they wanted to do. The thing that I find really interesting is that Sean McVay, when Puka Nacua was out, started getting creative with the 12 personnel and then starting to like way more 13 personnel. We saw the most 13 personnel we've ever seen in the McVay era this past week. And we see 4 tight ends that they felt comfortable with going into the rest of the year. They didn't make a trade for anybody, and you see why. Tyler Higbee can block, he can catch. Colby Parkinson can do the same. Davis Allen is taking significant strides forward. And Terrence Ferguson is actually, he's been a really good blocker, and he's caught everything his way. He had over 50 yards in this game on 2 catches. The Rams are becoming more of a complete team. They're becoming a team that's going to go down the field, and it's going to hit you with a 15-play drive. They're not afraid to go for it on 4th down anymore. So they honestly, their metrics that show you they've been as aggressive as Dan Campbell's Detroit Lions this year. They're getting it 71% of the time as well. And now, as I've complained in the past about the red zone offense looks very good. Now, albeit it's against the Saints, but it looked really good against the Jaguars. And coming into that, the Jaguars weren't a bad red zone defense. So say what you will about the Rams. The special teams unit has to be figured out. They went out and they got former St. Louis Ram. He played for the Los Angeles Rams, but it's kind of funny to say that. They went out and got Jake McQuaid. He's going to be on the practice squad. I don't know if he will be the long snapper, but Sean McVay made it clear they are going to get this thing fixed. And that is really the biggest issue with the Rams right now is that kicking operation. But aside from that, the defense, if not the best, they're second behind the Texans. The offense, if not the best, they're right there with everyone else. They have the best quarterback in the league. I keep telling people this, and for whatever reason, I don't know if Matthew Stafford isn't flashy enough. I don't know what it is. And I've been saying it all year, guys. 21 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's having the best season, and yet I see him behind Drake May, who was trying to give away the game to the Falcons. I see him behind Patrick Mahomes, who was complete dog shit against the Buffalo Bills. I don't really understand it at this point. I think the two MVP candidates right now, in my opinion, actually 3, I'm going to put Jonathan Taylor at 3. The 2 are Matthew Stafford and Sam Darnold. So I feel really good about where the Rams are at right now, and I think this division is going to get rowdy. We could see 2 teams go over 13 or, at least have 13 wins in this division. I'm not kidding you.
It's going to get rowdy. It's going to get real rowdy in week 10 where we have 2 interdivision battles. It's going to be awesome. We're going to touch on those games in just a second. Before we do, let's talk about our friends over at RotoWire. It's days like today where you absolutely have got to have a RotoWire subscription. And here's why. You go right on their homepage, and all you have to do is go over here and you go down to NFL. And it's going to give you all your news. And look at that right off the bat. They know we're talking about them, right? We got some NFC West news right at the top. Jacoby Brissett starting. Rashid Shaheed, he's going to Seattle. You click more news here, though. If you're like me on a day like today, where you're constantly looking for NFL trade updates before the deadline, you're refreshing your Twitter nonstop. You're hoping something pops up in your algorithm. You don't have to worry about that on RotoWire because it's all condensed right here in their latest news and updates feed. It's all nice, easily read and concise, all in one spot. And that's just one of the many awesome features of RotoWire. The link is in the description below. Click that and sign up for a premium subscription. Once you do, use the promo code RTS. That will get you 15% off a premium subscription with RotoWire. While you're down in the comment section, or the description rather, make sure to check out Swivel as well. They're your one-stop shop for everything creator, right? Whether it's the Roundtable or everyone below us, individual channels, they'll all live right on your Google Chrome browser. As you can see in front of you here, you have all of these outlets to go to. And I'll just pull up Jake's, for instance, here. If we click on Jake, boom, in one spot, I get all of Jake's YouTube videos, all of his Instagram posts, all of his Twitter posts, all in one spot, including yours truly right here, the NFC West Roundtable, right under the breaking news tab. So if you want to get all the latest all in one spot, check out Swivel as well. And also, while you're down there, you got to check out our friends over at Sleeper. And I've already built a slip for us for what could be the game of the year, fellas. Thursday Night Football, Broncos, Raiders. I know we all can't wait for that one. And if you're like me, You're damn right. And if you're like me, you're thinking to yourself, I gotta get up and find a way to watch this. I need a reason to watch this. I got a reason for you. A sleeper slip. Here's mine. I got Brock Bowers getting in the end zone. Bo Nix with the free pick, more than a half yard. And then Geno Smith, sorry, Brandon, less than 212 and a half yards in this one. That's good for a 7x multiplier. If you want to tell that one or create your own, link in the description below. Click that and sign up for a Sleeper account. Once you do, you will immediately get a free $20 entry to try out Sleeper completely free. You can use it on Thursday Night Football, Week 10 upcoming up here, or the NBA, NHL, you name it, it's all there. Once you use that free $20 entry, use the promo code RTS. And that'll get you a 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper terms of use for details. Currently available in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper in the link in the description below today. All right, let's transition from week 9 to week 10 as we officially move into the second half of the season here. And we are being treated with a couple of awesome matchups within this division. Absolutely cannot wait to see what goes down and how things shake up within the NFC West. Let's start in the 4:05 p.m. Eastern window as the Arizona Cardinals are looking to build some momentum here. They just break their 5-game losing streak on Monday Night Football. They're 3-5. They're on the road going in front of the 12s and the Seattle Seahawks, who are on a heater right now at 6-2 and are at the top of this division. Jake, I'll start with you on this one here. Cardinals, Seahawks, how do you view this one and who ends up taking it in your opinion?
Man, I wish the Cardinals were going up against a team that they could just definitely win, because I'd like to see them get on a roll. I am going to pick Seattle in this one. Like I said, I think they're the second best team in football, but I think it's going to be an exciting game. I look at 34-24, kind of leaning towards like a 27-24 game, and then Seattle gets a late score to kind of take over the game. But I just think Seattle's so hard to stop, and then you're going to be at Lumen Field. So, I think the Cardinals are going to compete in this one, and it will be close because it's a division rivalry, but I'm going to take Seattle, unfortunately, Mike. I am expecting Walter Nolan to have a sack just because Brandon, I don't know what Brandon's going to do if it happens. So, the football gods will make it happen. That's how it works.
One more reason to tune in next week to see Brando's reaction to whether or not Walter Nolan gets after Sam Darnold. Jesse, will the Cardinals get after Seattle, or do they improve to 7-2, remaining at the top of the NFC West?
Why have a sack when he can force a strip sack fumble to win the game? No, I'm just joking. That's not going to be. Listen, I actually do think that this game's going to be closer than maybe most people would think. Division games are always tough. You never know how they're going to go. I think this is two pretty good defenses right now. The Seattle Seahawks offense is absolutely humming as well, but I think this one's going to be tight. I'm going to go 23-20. Seahawks. I am curious, though, with Jones not being there, he's the signal caller on defense. I wonder if Jacoby Brissett can get some things done over the middle. So, I'm interested to see what happens over there, but I still think Seattle has more than enough to get this one done. And I agree with Jake. I think it's unfortunate because the Cardinals could go on maybe a little bit of a run, but I think it's going to be halted here against the Seahawks.
In the battle of Brandon and Mike, I'll start with the leader in the clubhouse, and that's you, Brandon. How do you view this one against Mike's Cardinals on Sunday afternoon?
Jesse and Jake are some smart men, I'll tell you.
Geniuses.
My Seahawks. How about a division where all 4 teams have a plus differential? We might be looking at one of kind of the all-time type seasons for a certain division and how we're doing right now. But that's not about what this is the case on. Can we win this game? Yeah, I think we can win this case. I think it's going to be a close game. The last one was pretty close, and the Cardinals have gotten healthier defensively since that moment. I think Jacoby Brissett's a tougher quarterback to deal with than Kyler Murray, who, as I've said multiple times on this channel, I think Mike McDonald understands exactly how to play that particular quarterback. Jesse just mentioned the middle of the field, and I think regardless of Ernest Jones, that is a spot within the Hawks defense that you might be able to find some headway on, as they are going to tend to protect somewhat to the depth of the field. So the intermediate passing to the middle of the field, especially with the Marvin Harrison, Wilson starting to come on for the Cardinals too with Brissett there. A lot of that's going to be really the big key in this game. I think the Hawks got to continue to stay committed to rushing the passer and blitzing them and sending the stack fronts. But I just think that we're playing too good. And Rashid's going to be active in this game. And the Cardinals in the first game decide to double GSN in the first half. all the way through. Second half, they let off the double team. He had almost 100 yards and a half. I'm guessing that they're going to want to try to draw those double teams over there. But now with Shaheed out there, are you going to be willing to do that? So I do think it's a close game, bit back and forth, but I have our Seahawks taking it 25-17 as I just think that we're rolling along and humming in all three phases, and the Cardinals are still kind of somewhat finding themselves.
Mike, your Cardinals, they found something on Monday Night Football to get their third win of the year. Can they find a way to do it again against Brandon Seahawks on Sunday afternoon?
I mean, one thing I will agree with everybody here in this roundtable that it's going to be a close game. That's for sure. I mean, every single game that the Cardinals have played have been a close game. I think we lost, was it 13, 14 points in all 5 of these games that we ended up losing. So yeah, this is going to be another one, another division matchup here for the Cardinals to go. And it's not going to be easy going to Lumen Field and try to get the win. But I think we're riding something here, man. I think we're riding the wave here. And yes, call me Homer, but I have a new revive of life with this Arizona Cardinals offense because, believe it or not, Jacoby Brissett is actually converting at a crazy high when it comes down to third down conversions right now. I think in the first half, he was like 7 for 9, and that's including like a 3rd and 17, 3rd and 9. He's seeing these guys open. Trey McBride's going to have a monster game. Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably going to have a pretty solid game, but I think it's going to be ride and die with Trey McBride. So I'm going to be leaning on my Arizona Cardinals with the upset. Yes, I'm going to do it. 23-20. I got my Arizona Cardinals winning this in Lumen Field.
The confidence has been reinstilled. Yeah, damn right. Good on you, Mike. The confidence is back.
Stand on business, Mike. Stand on business.
I love it. All right, the Rams. 2 losses on the season. One of the 2 came at the hands of Jesse's 49ers. The last time these 2 teams went head-to-head, the fellas were in person for Thursday Night Football at SoFi Stadium. It was an electric game. It was a wild game. It was a game that went to overtime. It was a game that the Niners pull off the upset in. Now they reset the deck. They go to San Francisco. They play again. The 6-2 LA Rams, the 6-3 San Francisco 49ers. A lot on the line in this football game. If the Niners win, they're 7-3 with 2 wins over LA. And now you got to start to wonder, man, can San Francisco really make a run towards winning this division? Meanwhile, for Jake's Rams, they lose the last time out. Many Rams fans feel like they should have won that football game and it slipped away. If the Rams win this one, they're right on the heels continuously of the Seahawks, making strides towards that 1 seed. It's a massive game here in Week 10. Brandon, I'll start with you here. Rams, Niners, who takes it this time around?
Well, I think Brock Purdy starting ahead of Mac Jones is disconcerting if I'm a 49er fan on this one, because that doesn't give me as much hope with Brock not necessarily operating this offense contextually as on time as Mac has. Not just Mac being the hot hand, but as Jesse's mentioned many times over, it's how he's executing this offense in the way that it was designed to be executed. I think that the Rams are doing a little bit similar to my Seahawks, where they're rolling at the right time. Things are heating up, getting Ferguson acclimated into the offense now, much like my Arroyo on our 2nd round pick, and taking a little bit of time to start to see why this guy's 2nd round pick. What is he going to do here with this offense to add to it? You've got now Adams fully acclimated in with Stafford. Puka still doing his thing out there. Defensively, they're going to get after it. And then the 49ers just keep getting weakened every week. This has got to eventually hit a head. And losing Mykel Williams, and you eventually run out of replacements. I think this is the week that we start to feel that's a little bit too far for them. Not to mean that Rams are a great team. They could beat them if they were full strength, but I think it's just too much, particularly this week. And how about the 49ers getting 2 home games against the Rams in one season?
Oh,
I'll go ahead and give the Rams this one pretty comfortably, 31-19.
No crowd noise pumped into the stadium maybe this time around, as we heard about last time. Mike, Niners, Rams, what do you make of this Week 10 showdown?
Oh, it's like we all forgot that we were all meeting together, and we all saw that injury report for the 49ers, that they had a grip of list of a receipt of all these people that weren't going to be in this game. And guess what? The 49ers still pulled it off, because there's something about the Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay. It doesn't matter who's on there. They somehow find a way to win. Now, of course, this is going to be a good game. I'm going to keep my eyes on this as well, especially if I have some sort of sliver of hope for any division race myself. But honestly, I'm leaning on to the guy that always takes down Sean McVay. I'm going with the 49ers. I leaned on the Rams when I was at the event, and I feel snake bitten. I'm not going to go against the 49ers when you go against them anymore. Sorry, Jake, but I'm going with the 49ers here. I'm saying 27-23 49ers.
Man, Mike calling 2 upsets. He's calling for the sweep in this game. Wow. All right. Jesse, I got to start with you here because you have winner's rights. You won the last outing. Will you win the next outing in a massive Week 10 showdown against Jake's Rams on Sunday afternoon?
Jake, I got to know, is Puka playing or not?
Oh, Puka's definitely playing.
Okay. All right. Listen, before the season started, I picked the Rams to sweep the 49ers. Last time around, I picked the Rams to beat the 49ers up until game day when I switched my pick. Just had a feeling that somehow, some way the 49ers were going to get it done. I have a hard time believing that the team I picked to go to the Super Bowl out of the NFC is going to get swept by the Niners, though. I think, the Niners, a ton of injuries. It's hard, man. It's hard because I respect the Rams so much. I think they're such a good team. I have to go with the Rams in this one. I reserve the right to change my mind. We'll see how this week goes. But right now, I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm going to go 24-23. Rams get it done.
It was 26-23 last time in overtime. The Niners won it. Jesse, I alluded to it earlier, so I got to ask you now. I've asked you this every week. Is it going to be Mac Jones yet again, or are we going to see Brock Purdy this time around?
Dude, I've been saying Brock Purdy for 3 weeks in a row. At this point, listen, if Brock Purdy practices again for a third straight week and doesn't suit up, then he just shut him down, man. Shut him down.
Does he have that this thing going down with the Cardinals? Is it a little bit that same thing where it's like, no, he's taking a little bit extra long time on this. We're just being real careful.
I honestly don't know what the hell is going on. The whole thing is like a lot of 49er fans are trying to defend it by saying, well, it's just, injuries are different and it's a turf toe and it's really tough. It's like, I don't disagree with that. I'm not sitting here saying that Brock Purdy isn't tough or isn't injured or any of those things, but I don't understand why then practice, because when they played in primetime against the Falcons, the report came out in the middle of that game that Brock Purdy, if he just steps wrong, could really be back at square one and trying to rebuild and get that toe healthy. And then 2 days later, he's back out on the practice field. It's like, well, you think you can only step wrong when you're playing in games? So for 2 straight weeks, he practices, but he doesn't suit up in either one of those games. If he practices for a third straight week and doesn't play, I don't know how to explain that. And if it's so bad, then why are you out there risking it in practices, but you're not risking it in games when you're the $53 million franchise quarterback? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Jake, you've said with full confidence, this LA Rams team is the best team in the NFL, and they've surely played like it, and they've looked like it. And I know you feel that they could have won that last game against the Niners. It's one of their only 2 blemishes on the season. Will they right their wrongs in Week 10, or will yet another blemish appear on their record at the hands of San Francisco?
Yeah, I just think it's gotten to the point where, San Francisco, they'll probably make the playoffs, but it's just gotten to the point they have lost too many players. Not having Fred Warner is just going to be way too much to overcome, in my opinion. He did a lot of incredible things when I went back and I watched that tape. I mean, he was sensational.
I say best player in the division? Maybe, just throw that out there? No? Okay, all right.
No, we watch Puka Nacua. It's like,
it's JSN at this point. What are we even talking about?
No. JSN.
Let him go there.
Hey, I was up here saying JSN's going to be a superstar, so get ready. But the thing about Nacua is he's not a wide back when everybody used to go, ooh and ah over Deebo Samuel. Puka Nacua is a wide receiver tight end. He plays the game differently than any wide receiver in football. He's better than Jamar Chase. He's better than JS. He's better than any receiver. You can name anybody. He is better because they were saying, oh, well, he only wins because Sean McVay draws up plays, but now he's winning on the outside, 1v1, doubled. It doesn't matter. He's just Puka Nacua. So here's the deal. The big thing for me, it's not even Nacua. It's the fact that the Rams in that 49er game were heavily reliant on the fact that they really just wanted to force the hand of Matthew Stafford to Davante Adams. They were trying to force a connection that wasn't there. Now it's there. Davante Adams has caught 5 touchdowns in the last 2 games. Matthew Stafford has thrown 9 touchdowns. Should have been 10, but a bullshit face mask call that I'm not going to get too much into. He's thrown 9 touchdowns in the last 2 games, okay? He's the best quarterback in the league. Davante Adams is the most dangerous receiver in the red zone right now. Like, there's nobody. He has 8 touchdowns. So here's the deal. I think they figured that out. I think they're on the same page. I think it will be easier to move the football, even though they had a really decent time moving the football against 49ers last time. The biggest issue was the defense. I don't know who's going to play quarterback. I don't care. They'll beat either one. Mac Jones, they've seen. They're not going to play him like he's Josh Allen. Hopefully not. And Brock Purdy, every Rams fan wants Brock Purdy to play. He will throw 2 picks, and it will be a blowout if he plays. I have the Rams winning this game against Mac Jones, though, 31-19. I think the Rams do get it done, and I think this is going to be a game where the Rams control most of it. And I'll be there. So
nice.
That'll be fun.
2 for 2 on the Niners.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I'm flipping it. If you're going to be there, I'm
No,
flipping
no,
it.
no,
Yeah,
no,
let's
no,
go.
no.
Niners
Yeah, on the back of
24,
the thing
Rams
with the
23.
No chance. That's the SoFi curse, which I am going to be at the Lions game. And God, if I have to watch the Rams lose to the freaking 49ers in person twice and the Lions, I might never go to a game
I
again.
love it.
Your
Yeah,
second
might
favorite
be a
team.
good
I don't know who
idea.
you're going to root for in
You
that
have
one.
to get yourself an
That's
Etsy with
gonna be a
that
tough one
point.
All right, we've recapped week 9. We've previewed a loaded week 10 in this division. Now it is time for the best time of the show. Brandon, if you'd be so kind to cue me in, it's time for Super Chat.
Go.
And wow, are we loaded up? Not only did we just surpass 1,000 live viewers across all platforms, but we have 33 super chats and counting to get to. You guys are the absolute best. We kick it off with the best username on YouTube. It's Brown Sausage. Y'all are great. Go Hawks, 31-13. Crazy division. I think we know where Bronze is leaning on Sunday afternoon. We all thought close game. Bronze is saying no chance. He's saying no chance. He's saying Hawks are dominating. We'll find out on Sunday. Munglas. What do we think? You're Munglas?
Mungles.
Love it. Oh, adorable cat, by the way. Mungles. Love it. Maybe that's the cat's name. Rams versus Seahawks. Playoff game. Gonna be cinema. Wow, calling a shot.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot better than that last one, isn't it, Brandon?
Ooh, yeah. I'm much more intrigued in this one than the final one where you guys have everything in tow. And we're trying not to look past. Cardinals are going to give us a hell of a battle this week. We got to do it. Take care of business. You got to take care of business. But that's going to be setting up to be one hell of a battle here down the road here.
Rams.
Jared Goff's last win as a Ram.
If that's a playoff game, then what are the Rams gonna watch Sam Darnold turn into a pumpkin in the playoffs again for 2 years in a row?
He's going to show you the truth. He's going to show you what's up. He's going to take that take and stuff it on that game. Come out with at least 3 touchdowns. I'm calling it now. But will you move off your spot?
3 pick
No,
sixes
you won't.
for touchdowns.
You
Yes,
won't.
all right.
Minute or an hour, 2 minutes. If you wouldn't mind clipping it in the chat, folks. We just had some pretty bold predictions for that matchup later on in the season. Mo
Just
Maggot.
bummed we don't get Paul Allen saying, "Throw the ball." He's holding it too long.
Wait, this isn't Detroit. This is the Super Bowl. Mo Maggot. Raw speed Shaheed to terrorize the rest of the West. Wow, a little alliteration there from Mo Maggot. How about that?
Crafty.
Love
I
it.
like that.
It's
Chris Smokehawk Neslin. How about that with the profile picture to match? This is the best division in football. Bring on the dead birds and the lambs. Go Hawks. Appreciate the super chat, Chris. Our favorite guy, Mark Sanchez, chiming in.
From
Hey,
jail.
guys.
That's crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
good
it.
to see him.
It's
Several
a collect super
chats.
chat.
Yeah, well, he sent several, by the way. We got a couple to read from Mark, including this one, saying, "Hey, guys, I just would like to welcome Kyler to the Hard Work Beats Talent When Talent Doesn't Work Hard Club. Also, I have a lot of time on my hands these days, so my gamer tag is Wally Pipped 68 hashtag.
Oh my
Hi.
God.
oh, that's extra harsh there at the end. That's
That
a
is
subtle one. That's a deep cut too.
Brutal.
That Wally Pipp's a
Pip,
deep
Lou
cut.
Gehrig.
Oh,
Wow.
Only real ones know.
oh yeah,
Bravo, Mark.
We did that on Yankees Unloaded. So
yeah. Well, Mark knows he's got a Yankee fan now, so he'll know that you're there for the reference on that one.
hell
Definitely.
yeah, love the reference there.
Freddie K. Baseman. The NFL will be surprised by the NFC West. Well, if they don't know by now, then I don't know what they're watching. I mean,
Mark, can you
seriously.
guys catch the hell up, please? Why do we always got to be the most competitive? Why do we got to put all our money on the table? Why do we got to be all great in our picks all the time? All you guys get this room for error. You guys provided feast factor for the Patriots for 20 freaking years. Step it up.
Maybe if we would just we picked up the NFC West and just put them in the Northeast, people would actually pay attention to us.
Do you think maybe they're going to have to start to split us up because we're too strong? Do you think like that becomes an NFL problem? Like, man, we got too much
realignment. You thinking that's coming down the pipe?
It might be at this point.
I feel like they're going to do some dumb shit with it. Because, I mean, the Rams used to be in the same division as like the Saints and the Falcons. Obviously, the Niners were there. And Seattle was in the AFC. So, like, shit can happen. Like, you know, I'm not ruling out anything. But I don't agree with it. And I definitely am not ruling out a London team as much as I hate that, too.
Yeah, it's international stuff. It's probably coming.
By the way, you're asking me to do something. The Bills are five-time champions in the last 5 years in that division. The Jets and the Dolphins have been cannon fodder for the last decade. The Jets' longest playoff drought in the NFL. So I think you need to get on the phone with TD and Richie after this and have a talk with them because they need to turn things around. The Jets
I think Brady, by the way, I think he cloned Drake May. I think that's what I'm starting to see.
Well, he's cloning his dog, so I wouldn't be shocked if he cloned Drake May. Did you see that? By the way?
No, what?
I
he
cloned
his dog
on that one. That was wild, but
Brady cloned his dog.
You didn't say that? You didn't set that up as the joke? You didn't know?
No, I knew, but it was. Did you see the picture where it was rookie year Tom Brady with Drake? They look almost identical. It's ridiculous.
Well, please don't say that. Tom Brady was 33-3 against the Buffalo Bills. Okay, and Drake May already has his W on primetime. I don't need any more of that. So please, for the love of God, don't put that into existence. Josh, K1 BP out half the season. QB rankings. A lot to unpack here from Josh. So we got Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy out half the season.
QB so are we changing our QB rankings, basically, is what he's saying. Because remember, we had Kyler and Brock Purdy, and neither of them are starting right now. So with the current, I mean, I would probably go exactly the same as far as the order in which we had it. Actually, no, I mean,
Stafford.
Where did I have Sam? Where did I have Sam? I forget.
Darnold would be too.
Pretty deep. Behind those guys.
Originally.
Behind those guys.
Yeah, I think I had Sam fourth. I would say with Mac and Brissett, I would probably put Sam 2, and then probably Mac then Brissett, I guess, would be fourth.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot to consider. A lot to consider. Obviously, we talked last week, inevitably, Jacoby Brissett, Anthony Richardson will be a Niner at some point, so we have to factor him in. We got to factor Jimmy G in.
No, he's going to be a Ram, and then Jimmy G is going to go to the Jets.
And we got to somehow needle in Geno Smith into this whole conversation as well. So there's a lot here. Maybe we'll do a whole episode.
Is he going to put the helmet on the right way? Or
Oh, God bless them, man, the Raiders.
But at least they got Tyler Lockett, guys. Everything will be good.
Can't wait to watch him on primetime Thursday night. It'll be a treat. Chris, Smoke Hog back in the building. Just because there's more Hawks fans in here doesn't mean we're bots. Sounds like a whiner's take. Wow.
Must be something going down in the chat.
Sounds like the 12s are showing up.
Nobody bandwagons the way the 12s do, huh?
Ride or die. That's how we do it. Ain't no bandwagons here.
Mo Maggot is back. Thank God Brissett is playing so Seattle can actually get some good reps in before the Rams game.
Damn.
Mike, do the Cardinals cover? Well, I think we know your answer to that. You got them winning outright.
Yeah, I got the Cardinals winning. I'm the only one in the round table that thinks it. Yeah. Y'all, if you think it's easier with Jacoby, think Kyler.
He's saying no. He's saying the opposite. He's saying that this actually gets us good work. Like Kyler would be like playing JV status. So
I apologize.
Now we actually got to like amp it up.
Gotcha. Yeah, amp it up.
Well, Maggot, Mike wants you to take the money line, so hop on it. Dylan saying, just my weekly reminder to say the Seahawks are the best team in the division. We have the best defense and best wide receiver in the league. Maybe the best quarterback as well.
Enough said.
Yeah.
8089er. What up, Jesse? It's Lambs week. I don't think we win this week, but oh Lord, if we do. Hey, Jake, whose house? LOL, JK. Great show, fellas.
If we sweep the Rams, it's we're going to be dancing on the grave for sure.
The world will not make sense if this team's gone 4-0 in this division. All these injuries, not making a move at the trade deadline. Who the hell's the starting quarterback? Who knows? No, I might just go all in on the Niners going to the Super Bowl at that point.
If the 49ers beat the Rams, we're going 6-0 in the division. So prep for that.
Yeah, chill with that. Chill.
And there's no LOL JK involved there.
There's going to be 3 teams in the playoffs from the NFC West.
No doubt.
Like I
Definitely
predicted
trending
before
that
the
way.
season started. So
Mark, back like you never left. Hawks, 81.4 mil in dead cap that will drop next year. Ooh, the rich getting richer, Brandon.
We're sitting with top end cap space partly because we have this amount of money in dead space next year right now on the books, and we're already with that top amount of cap space. Whereas the past couple of years, we've been, frankly, since the Russell Wilson era trades, always dealing with a minimum of about a 40 million on up of dead money. Niners are going to be in the same place with this. They did a good job of eating the tough times for this year with their cap with 100 million. So they're going to free up a lot too as we go in the future as well. Just part of why I say this division is so smartly run from, stem to stern. And I know with Jesse, he's frustrated they haven't gotten over the top in some of the decisions they make, but overall, we got a lot of guys making smart decisions in all four of these teams. That's why you have a plus differential like you do. And you can get mad at like one and better, but it's just, that's what's tough about this.
Well, Brandon, if Sam Darnold goes from playing top-tier quarterback to seeing ghosts once again, Jay Gundy says not to worry because the Jets are drafting the Seahawks' next reclamation quarterback.
That's right. Prep them right, man.
Picks to do it.
We'll give you a good couple of years of failure and just get all the kinks worked out.
Oh, my God.
Mark Jackson. I'm so glad we are getting away from Murray. I didn't want to see him in the first place. Go Cards.
Hell yeah.
It's got to feel good, Mike, to know that there's not any uncertainty about this, at least for the immediate future. You can go in with Brissett and have these guys feeling confident that they can continue to play with the guy who has inevitably been the better quarterback this season.
Yeah, I mean, the offense is better, like way better. So there's really no sweat off my back. I think we score more. I think we average a touchdown more when Jacoby plays and much more yardage. Yeah, it's a win-win for us.
Chacho, always good to see you, my brother. He's saying, hey, Mike, I will give you my support. Good win, brother.
Appreciate it, man.
You, Chacho. Propa, why didn't the Bills get a wide receiver or something? I don't know, Jesse, in their window and have constantly been shown they're just short. Cap isn't great, but good GMs make it work. All right. Well, you're putting the ball on the tee for me here, Propa. So listen, the Bills restructured Taron Johnson's contract yesterday. They had the least amount of available cap space in the entire NFL. They restructured that contract. They have just shy of $4 million. Everything that I heard, they were on the altar with multiple wide receivers. They inquired on Garrett Wilson out in New York. The Jets didn't want to trade in division, and they had already shipped off essentially their entire roster in terms of guys that are putting fans in the seats, right? And they also had inquired on Chris Olave. The Saints didn't want to move off of him. There were rumors about Shaheed that wound up going to Brandon Seahawks. So there were calls being made, but unfortunately, no deal was done. The Bills right now, in terms of their wide receiver talent, it's not been up to snuff. But if Josh Allen can be as efficient as he was against the Chiefs, James Cook right now is on pace for 1,800 yards. That would be good for the second best season in franchise history, just behind O.J. Simpson. And Dalton Kincaid is becoming everything we hoped he would be in Buffalo. You would like to see Keon Coleman become something, and Khalil Shakir is great in the slot. But right now, the wide receiver talent isn't ideal. And every one of the Bills members of the Bills Mafia wanted a trade to happen this afternoon, and it didn't. So I hear what you're saying. They're locked in with their roster. They're 6-2 with that roster. All we can hope is that they can continue plugging away with what they got.
Alex, don't go with the
double X for Jesse.
I don't know how you guys don't go for
that's
a third
what I
there. That's
totally agree.
Why not?
I mean, that was what was being floated around. That was the other. I'm glad you mentioned that too. I forgot about Jacoby Myers because he gets moved today as well. One of the three wide receivers. They had apparently inquired on him as well. I don't know what happened for it not to get done, but Brandon, you mentioned it. Your Seahawks give up a fourth and a fifth, and that was what everybody was talking about. Why didn't the Bills just match that, but with a third? Especially when you look at last year, they gave up a third for Amari Cooper, and he got hurt almost instantly and was barely available for him. So I have no idea.
He was done last year too, and you traded for him. Sorry, go ahead.
May I offer up? You have the best quarterback in the league, and it's like he can just cover for a lot of that stuff. And they're like, why are we going to overpay for a receiver when we just got Josh Allen? We got two tight ends. We got a running back that can catch out of the backfield. Multiple running backs can catch out of the backfield. Like, he'll figure it out. Like, that's the blessing and curse of having such a great quarterback sometimes.
And beating the Chiefs probably didn't help your cause.
Yeah.
We'll never turn that down. By the way, speaking of, things going in our favor, we do have the Dolphins this upcoming weekend, so that's kind of nice, kind of a little bit of a buffer there. But yeah, what the Bills need is an X, and unfortunately, you got to go out and pay substantially, not only in draft capital but financially for an X. The Bills just aren't in position to do that. If they were to have gone and acquired one of these other wide receivers, would it have bolstered the offense? Sure, but the Bills have a ton of complementary receivers, and it would be just adding one more of those type of guys to the situation. So
and I don't prolong this, but that's where you would have gone with Shaheed Nax. You had the cap space to do it. He leaves as a free agency. You don't have cap space anyway, probably going to next offseason. So now you get a compensatory back exactly for what you basically gave up. I just think I understand that. Look at what Rams got, maybe the best quarterback in the sport right now. Do they look at their wide receiver position and go, let's go light on it, let's have him overcome it? Or do they stack that thing up? Do they go for a Ferguson in the second round and say, that's not the way to look at this? It's not to look at it as that you squeeze the most out of Josh as you can, maximize the guy to the ultimate.
Right. And I think maybe the most frustrating thing here too, is the Bills have been in this window for so long. Now the Colts, who just magically find themselves in this window, they're the team that goes all in and give up 2 first-rounders and a young wide receiver. Whereas you don't see the Bills do that. The Chiefs don't really do that either mid-season. So it's interesting to watch these teams who have been around the bubble or within the bubble, but the Bills in particular, like you watch the Colts finally strike gold, and instantaneously once they find the gold, they're all in. The Bills have not gone all in once, and that's one of the biggest frustrations in the entire fan base. Alex,
and you lost Hoyt, who
don't even get me started.
I might be biased because I know him a little bit, but he looks so good with the Bills.
Unbelievable.
And it's like, how do you see that performance? He tears his Achilles, and you don't consider looking at that direction. I don't know. I thought that was a mistake more than even a receiver.
That's what it came down to, Jake. It was the defensive line area, and it was the wide receiver room. And that's where everyone was thinking they'd look. And it wasn't just Michael Hoyt, by the way. The week prior, you lose Ed Oliver for the year. And this defense, since the Ravens game, has allowed the 4th fewest points in the league, and they have 10 sacks in their last 2 games. And this is a defense that's become something that was a liability not all that long ago. I hear you. You guys are making me sick. Thank God. Dolphins.
I'm sorry, Z-Bot.
Are in week 10. No, you're kidding. We just beat the Chiefs. How upset could I possibly be? I got my November banner, and I can't wait to take it down in January like I do every single year. All right. Alex, double X. For Jesse being a super unk, his hair is immaculate considering he's had to watch the Niners choke for the past 30 years. And he wears hats. Respect to him. Respect to you, Alex. That was a good one.
Super unk. That's awesome. Super unk.
Super unk. How about that? Mark back in the building, and he's saying Jets will save their picks. I'll sign a vet contract. I'll win comeback player of the year, and then the Super Bowl. Simple. Zeba, you got my back, right? Look at Mark. All you got to do is get Rex Ryan out of the ESPN world, rehire him. You figure your situation out, sign with the Jets, and then just have a maybe top 2 or maybe the best defense in the league, and you'll be right back to it. The only problem is, Mark, you failed to get to that Super Bowl. You lost in the AFC Championship twice in a row. So
you ran into somebody's ass and dropped the football.
That is true. But
Mark ran into Mark. That ass ran into Mark.
Yeah. I think Jets fans are just begging you, Mark, to maybe get to the wild card round before anything else, because it's been 14 long years in East Rutherford. Mark Jackson, Marvin broke the corner's ankles on that TD. Yeah, he did. He made him look silly there, Mike.
Yep, 100%. It was like I said, even CD Lamb was like, it was really funny. Yeah, he did a really good job in that game, man.
How about Marvin Harrison Jr.? Let's give a clap for Marvin Harrison Jr. It's been a rough year. It's been a rough career so far.
Well, we got, Walter Nolan being hated on this side over here, and then you got the Marvin Harrison Jr. hater down there. So, the Cardinals are just trying to
watch out, Mike. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, because it's been a while, but there was a time on this show where 49er fans used to ask if I was a 49er fan in covert because of how much praise I gave Brock Purdy and how much praise I gave the 49ers. And now I feel like I'm like, oh crap, am I flying too close to the sun here? Are people going to think I'm a Cardinals fan now? Like,
I don't think anyone's ever accused you of being a Cardinal fan. You're good.
I'm giving too much praise. I don't know. It happened last time, so.
I touched on Aiden's super chat earlier. In the business, we call this a lead, and it leads me to the scientific point that I wanted to make. Aiden is saying, give us your Super Bowl predictions right now. And I'm scrolling the old Twitterverse the other day, and I see something that caught my eye. It was an article from Aaron Schatz over at FTN Fantasy, and I'll pull it up for you right now. And according to the numbers, the science-based numbers, the DVOA, here are your most likely Super Bowl matchups. The number one most likely Super Bowl matchup, the Seattle Seahawks versus the Buffalo Bills and what they're calling the Marshawn Lynch Classic. Second most likely, Seattle versus Indy. Third most likely, the Rams versus the Bills. Fourth most likely, the Rams versus the Colts. Fellas, could it happen? Because according to the numbers, I got a chance and you guys got double the chance in here. Can we please find a way to make it happen? But I'll ask you guys, I'll ask you to answer Aiden's question here. If you had a choice right now, or if you had a prediction, halfway point of the season, Super Bowl matchup. Brandon, I'll start with you here.
It's science. I'm not to argue science. We got a lot of science deniers out there in day and age, and I don't want to be one of them. Okay. I want to be a guy still that can have my feet firmly grounded right here in this ground. So I'm going Seahawks all the way, baby. And yeah, it's the Buffalo's time. It's the game America wants. It's the game the world wants. Let's make it happen.
I'll run through a wall right now. Mike, what do you got for me?
I'm gonna do something wild. I'm gonna do something wild here. I'm gonna say Broncos and Eagles.
Wow.
I'm gonna do something wild. I think the defending Super Bowl champions are gonna go back to the Super Bowl
wild thing.
Broncos does feel a little bit wild. That defense is legit, though. Jake, are we thinking that what you've been predicting for a while now is coming to fruition? Are we thinking an LA Buffalo Bowl? Are we thinking a rematch of last year's game? If that was the Super Bowl, oh my God, the world would be treated to a show.
Oh, man. I mean, that was the best game of the year last year, right? It definitely was. Unfortunately, Z-Bob, not feeling it. I'm sorry. Not like my decision even has anything to do with what'll happen, but no, I just every time, like, I feel like the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl, right? But the AFC, okay, I have a bunch of teams in front of the team that I think is going back to the Super Bowl, and it's the Chiefs. I can't help it. I literally have the Patriots, I have the Bills, I have the Broncos, I have the Colts, and yet every time I pick, I'm like going through the playoff matchups, I just can't pick against Kansas City, and I don't know why. I don't think they're better than any of those teams right now, but it's a different ball game in January. So I'm going to go Rams-Chiefs, Super Bowl matchup we probably should have seen in 2018. That was also the best game of 2018, the Monday Night Football game, 54-51. And I believe that Matthew Stafford beats Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going to predict he's going to win the MVP because they hate him. But Matthew Stafford's going to beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to give a score, but that's how I see it.
You know what is so sad about that is I literally said the same thing the other day. The Bills beat the Chiefs. I said if the playoffs were this week and the Bills played the Chiefs again, I would 1,000% pick Kansas City. I need to be proven. It needs to be proved otherwise. It just absolutely has to. It's the way it is. Jesse, do you think your Niners? I mean, speaking of the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, we've seen that twice, maybe a third time around this upcoming year. What's your Super Bowl prediction?
First of all, if Seattle or the Rams win a Super Bowl at Levi, I'm going to throw up in my mouth. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm going to stick with my preseason prediction. I'm not going to jump off of it yet. I'm still going to go Rams and Ravens. I think the Ravens have a super easy schedule coming up. They're going to still win that division. They'll beat the Steelers twice. They're going to get red hot. And so I'm going to go Rams, Ravens. I'll keep the preseason prediction alive.
Oh, I see. Ravens, I actually have in the AFC title game. Like, I can't help but think the Ravens are about to go on a serious run as well. So, yeah. And honestly, I think I want a piece of the Chiefs. I'm tired. I'm tired.
Come and join me, buddy. Come and join me. I've been down that road a million times.
I'm tired of this. The Rams beat them 54-51. And then the next time they played, Bryce Perkins was the quarterback, and the Rams had him on the ropes. They threw an interception at the goal line. And that was in Kansas City. We haven't seen Rams Chiefs in a long time, so I'm ready for it.
Guess what? If I had $1 for every time I said, this is the time, give me a piece of that Chiefs, I'd have $4. Okay?
That was me with the Lions, the Packers, and the Eagles. So I think all of those combined, now we can match up there.
Well, you know you'd have a fan in me if that's what it ended up coming down to. Duce
yeah.
coming in. Great to see you. Hitting us with a citrus super chat. I already predicted all NFC West teams would win last week. This week, Rams should split with San Francisco. Nostradamus Duce. He landed 4 for 4 last week, and now he's got the Rams getting the dub against the Niners in week 10. Freddie K back in saying Rams still have more weapons than Seattle. I think that's probably fair, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say maybe more quality. I think Seattle is right there, though. I do. I think the tight end whose name is Arroyo, whose name is there's his name, Elijah Arroyo. Him and Barner, I actually don't think get talked about nearly enough. And you could have a game where they have 2 catches, 20 yards, but Barner's capable of finding the end zone. Barner's capable of, helping you after the catch. And then Elijah Arroyo, I mean, we saw he took the top off their defense. So, yeah, I think I would say the Rams because you have the best duo in Puka Nacua and Adams, but I think this is closer to maybe giving credit for.
Brandon, you agree?
Yeah, I think that's fair. You could be talking me either way on that one. I think it's like he does say, it's close. So it's like trying to parse between the two on them. It's like, they're very similar in how they set up. Even having a second round tight end that they don't use as much as a primary guy, like even going down to that. So it's pretty tit for tat.
Well, it's not who has the better gun; it's who has the better trigger puller, and that's Matthew Stafford. So,
you shall see in a couple weeks, my friend.
Never misses an opportunity. I'll tell you, you got to give him.
I know.
Down there in the bottom right corner.
At this point, I almost feels biased, like a biasy.
I like that Jesse is clearly a Matthew Stafford fan. He was oohing and ahhing over those throws.
Matthew Stafford's
in
an incredible player.
That throw to Tutu Atwell, I thought you were going to shit yourself. They're like, what the hell was that?
The Garth Knight, Walter Nolan, will never admit to this, but after that incredible game, he tackled a drifter from the sights of an oncoming truck and brought him to a mission where he can get the help support he needs. What?
Oh, it's always good to have you back in the mix here, Garth.
Oh, man. If that
sounds like a video game level.
Explain our show. What does?
Garth, good to see you. Appreciate it, brother. No idea what that means, but I appreciate you. Mo Maggot, Z-Bot, if you could pick, would you rather the Bills have to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs or beat whoever wins the West to go to the Super Bowl? So you're asking, would I rather beat the Chiefs in the playoffs and lose or beat whoever's in the West in the Super Bowl and win?
No, I think he's just saying, like, would it feel like they've accomplished what they needed to if they somehow had a path to the Super Bowl without beating the Chiefs?
It's my favorite question. I don't give a damn if the Bills have to play the Jets and then they have to play after that the Titans and the Raiders in the AFC Championship. Hell, I don't care if something happens so catastrophic that they just have to play the Super Bowl and skip the playoffs and the Bills win the lottery and find themselves as the AFC representation in that game. I do not care. Everybody wants to tell you that it just doesn't feel the same if we don't beat the Chiefs. We've never won a Super Bowl. And this team was a stone's throw away from being in a 17-year playoff drought. We don't deserve nor have earned the right to have the hard path to the game. We need the easiest path imaginable. I will take any path in existence to get to a Super Bowl, if that answers your question, Mo Mag. And I love that one because there are a ton of people who say, if the Chiefs don't make the playoffs, then the Bills, no. Give me a CFL team for all I care to go against. I just want to make it. Matty Plowden.
Someone clip that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, clip it up. We'll put it on the NFC West channel. They'll be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? I came here for some Hawks, Cardinals, Niners, Rams talk. Matty Plowden, question for Jake. Saw a video of Stafford telling someone to get effing on the line, and he seemed to be directing it at Ferguson. Maybe a telltale sign of why he didn't play much. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he's been great, but he's still a rookie, and it still took him a little bit, and that's all that was. It was hilarious. Like Stafford's, get the hell off the line. Well, that's not what he said, but yeah. That's all it is. They're also in 13. I don't think that they were really in 13 at all in the offseason program, in training camp. This is kind of a new thing for them. They were in 13 personnel a lot. So I think he just was a little confused by where to be. And yeah, that's all it was.
Edwin, but he's known in the streets as Rampage, saying, I guess Brandon needs a reminder of who Sam is. Don't forget about last year when Sam went to Arizona and he was killed by the Rams. Go Dodgers, go Rams.
Yeah, we're not the Minnesota Vikings, and our offensive line's not in the shape of the Minnesota Vikings. I never quite understand a player that's played like he's played, and that one game suddenly gets to be sort of cherry picked out, and that this is the true representation of who he is. It seems to me silly conceptually, as though like picking out one play from a game, saying this play told the whole story of the game, not all these other plays, just this one. It's kind of ridiculous. And again, it has some context to the understanding what happened there. That wasn't Sam just crapping his pants on a football field. O'Connell has shown that maybe he's not a guy that walks on water like a lot of people were trying to supply. And that offensive line was in miserable shape at that time. So it's sure Sam didn't play his best. I ain't letting him off the hook in that game that he didn't also add on to it. But it's all the parts of that made that game happen. Not merely that Sam just couldn't step up in the big moment. It's pretty silly to me.
Although they did just win with JJ McCarthy in Ford Field, which impressive. I did not expect.
No. They were up by 10 late in the fourth quarter too. They kind of like they won it. You know what I mean? They didn't back into it. So that was impressive.
The bigger one is that Stafford's undefeated against Seattle. That's the bigger one.
We got to conquer that hill. No, it's true. That's the hill.
We'll take that one over Sam Darnold because Sam Darnold played well.
Way more valid hill than that one. I agree.
Sam Darnold played well in that first game during the season. So, I mean, the first two drives, you're like, oh boy. That's not Sam Darnold I know. So no,
Megan from down under. So good to see you. Hope you're well. Saying Jake, Rams and Seahawks, Melbourne, Australia 2026. Wow. Brandon and I organizing a trip. You in or out for a roundtable meetup? I'm in for the second annual NFC West Roundtable event. Why don't we hop on a plane for 20 hours and go to Melbourne? How about that?
Hey, if we're seriously if we're doing the roundtable meetup there, I'd be down.
That is crazy.
Supposedly Seattle's in play.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Say that again, Brandon.
Supposedly Seattle's in play for maybe the Australian game in a couple of year or two here.
Man, that would be something. Megan back in again with the double dip, saying, sorry I'm late, boys. Thanks for the Cards win. And Mike, how about those Seahawks and that trade? Oh, by the way, Rams and Seahawks to play in Melbourne in Australia 2026 is the first time hearing this. Who's in for a roundtable road trip? Well, Megan, I think we are all in. I think we're all down to do it.
That'd be so dope.
How insane would that be?
That would be awesome.
Crazy.
I'm in. If
the only problem is, though, Megan, do they have a wing stop out in Australia?
Oh, my goodness.
God.
If they don't,
goodness.
I'll tell you what, folks, it's true. Buffalo and their wings cannot be separated like a mother from a child.
Hey, wings are really good, so I get that, but you're wrong for that.
We wound up leaving 100 wings outside of an abandoned RV on the side of the road, hoping somebody would eat them.
So you did just give them right to the homeless.
No, Mike, I mean, yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah,
okay.
Right?
I was going to say that had to have been a little difficult.
Well, I
mean,
they didn't answer. We left them. We ran.
But we did drive by again and they were gone, weren't they?
The bags of chips, all the bags were gone, but the wings are still chilling there.
Yeah, so we left a couple bags of chips and 100 wings. You imagine picking up the bags of chips? I mean, my ass would have been running down the street with that bin of wings and it would not be looking back. It was amazing how many we got. Brandon, you said that when you woke up and smelled it, it about made you pass out. The entire room. The aroma was
not the right smell for where the head was at that time. That's
definitely not.
Combination.
I do wonder, by the way, speaking of this, I do wonder who the Rams are going to play in Japan, potentially in 2027. I've been hearing that's like an actual thing. Fun fact, they played the 49ers in Japan 1989.
So we're doing Australia 26, and then we're doing Japan 27. We'll have ticket information coming your way whenever.
I want to go to Japan available. So badly, so I am so there.
That would be unbelievable. Imagine us walking around Japan with all of our gear on, doing a show right in the middle of the road. I mean, that would be something else. Oh, my God.
Sign me up for that.
Cheeto 2208. Seahawks are actually kind of scary now, and it's quite annoying. Great for my fantasy. but that's about it. How about it, Brandon? Scary Seahawks.
They're rolling, man. Things are coming together. The plan's coming to fruition, and smart decisions paying off. It's wonderful to watch.
Cheeto right back up to the plate saying, we need to play Mac against the Rams. He'll give us the best chance to win. Bring back Purdy for the Cards for a tune-up game. Love you, mean it, Mike.
Yo, wow. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but
Good. This is the second time that the Cardinals have been referenced as a practice team for whoever in this division wants to take them on. Mike, you're going to shut them up, baby. 1-0. 1-0 this past week.
Quiet. It'll be real quiet. We win.
Cryptic with the citrus. Brandon, if you'd be so kind to get Cryptic. Mike, as a Niner fan, we complain CMC gets overused, but at least we can't say he doesn't get touches. Same thing with Flacco to Chase. Cards seem more functional with Marvin Harrison Jr. getting fed when Murray said deal with lack of touches. How much do you attribute maybe what Marvin Harrison Jr. did on Monday Night, Mike, to Jacoby Brissett being the quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, well, he spreads the ball around. I mean, the ball goes where the ball needs to go, regardless if it's Kyler or Brissett. But I don't know. It almost kind of feels like because Murray doesn't really survey and progress with the play, it almost seems like he kind of sticks to one side of the field, and it's usually McBride that he forces it to, and then he'll throw it to Marv a few different times. But I feel like the ball needs to go where the ball needs to go, and Jacoby's there because he's actually surveying the field. Like he's actually taking the ball where the defense allows him to. So I think Marvin was actually targeted the most when we played this game. So he was targeted a good amount with Murray too. So I don't want to get it twisted, but the throws are better with Jacoby. I'll leave it that way.
Cryptic back in again saying, Mike, is this Murray's last season in a Cardinal uniform?
I can almost bet probably 85%, 90%. Yeah, it is.
Wow. And we are going to have, there's no shortage of fun here on the NFC West Roundtable. When that happens, that's going to be something. Yep. Rome Ra, get those body bags ready for this game. Go Rams.
I learned the lesson. I'm not saying blowout.
Not bad. A to B Lack. Zeba just heard. Congratulations on the baby. Wow. Thank you so much.
Zeba. Man. We didn't know. Let's go. Oh, yeah.
Probably the perfect time to tell you that this handsome bearded gentleman of yours will not be your host next week. My wife is expecting to give birth to our first child this upcoming week. So I will be on daddy duty this time next week.
Congrats.
So I don't know who's filling in, but they better be ready for some ruckus in here as always, especially coming off of those two games within the division. So I'm going to have to prep up whoever it is. But A2B, appreciate you very, very much. Edwin, and he's better known as Rampage in the Streets. If you each had to select a player from your team to bat in a World Series, which player would you pick? And what baseball team would they bat for? Brandon, kick me off.
Holy crap. What baseball team would they bat for? I guess I would go with I'll go with Abraham Lucas, and I'd add him to my Mariners, man. Be my
Very
DH.
nice. Got it.
Kyler Murray,
Yes.
Diamondbacks.
yeah,
That's as easy as it gets.
Yeah,
Jake?
Easy one. Akello Witherspoon, who was interested. He had interest from Toronto a while back. He actually prefers baseball, but I would have him batting for the Yankees.
Jesse?
I appreciate the super chat. Honestly, I don't give a shit about baseball. So
Oh, come on.
I was thinking that you said it, brother. I mean, I got to tell you, though, that World Series was incredible. I mean, I'm not a baseball guy, but I enjoyed the hell out of that. I cannot believe the Jays blew it. And by the way, they have lineage to Buffalo, and that was the most Buffalonian way to lose a World Series. I said if the Bills were a baseball team, which is kind of on theme to this question here, if the Bills were a baseball team, that is exactly how they would lose the World Series. That was an unbelievable, unbelievable series. Johnny
you
Naylor.
pick at least somebody. Come on.
Oh, me?
To swing a bat.
Oh,
Come on,
Jesse.
Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse. Yeah, you got to have somebody
Purdy,
in mind.
so we don't have to pick up his contract. Go play baseball.
God.
Nice.
For any team, I don't really care.
He's just looking to offload anywhere
I
he
bet
can
you
offload
George Kittle could hit some homers. So
Can he go play for the New York Jets? Is that a baseball team? I don't...
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Hey, Johnny Naylor saying, best round table, just saying thank you. We'll say thank you right back, Johnny. Appreciate
you,
the
John.
love.
Thank you, John.
Propa back up to the plate. If you took the best all-time players from each division, put them on a roster, does the NFC West beat those other divisions? Niners would carry the offense, and the
Legion of Boom.
LOB, the
Legion of Boom.
Legion of Boom.
Oh, Legion of Boom.
The
on
Niners
D.
and Greatest Show on Turf would fuse.
Yeah, I think, yes.
Then you'd have the Legion of Boom and Aaron Donald and
Kenny
Sanders.
Lott.
The Niners, the
West,
80s era
man,
Niners,
that'd be
though.
tough.
Yeah.
A lot of good
We'd
points.
be tough
You know
to
what?
beat, I'll tell you that.
Let me
Depth for
screenshot
days.
this. Let me screenshot this. I actually love this topic, but this feels like this is a half-hour plus topic here. I'm going to screenshot this. Propa, we got a lot of off-season time to fill. I'm going to come back to this. We appreciate the super chat. This sounds like you just set us up for a show during the off-season. So we're going to come back because that could be a really, really fun debate. So thanks for
I mean, we would have to debate on who our starting lineups are, too. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Would we have... I'm not
maybe a draft. We could do a draft.
Would we have any Arizona Cardinals? I'm just being real. I don't.
Larry.
Would any?
Larry's a good one.
Would he though?
Darnell Dockett.
I don't know if Larry would though. That's the other thing.
Hello.
Larry'd be there. I think the receiver one would be the biggest competitive one because me and Jake got into this on Twitter a couple weeks ago. Over one of his guys.
And is
So
TL a 49er, or do we have to give him to a different division? Because if he's a 49er, then that's two 49ers receivers that are locked in. Like, I don't know.
Like, so I think this is the ground we would have to establish. Are you getting the player as they were on that team?
Yes.
Yeah, prime player,
okay.
of course.
So Aeneas Williams, definitely for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, though. Could you say
Patrick Peterson
Emmett Smith?
is in there.
Could you take Cowboys version Emmett Smith? Or would it have to be?
Aeneas might be on there.
No, because he was over the hill.
Has to be when
he
they're
was
on
on
the team.
Okay, so you can't get any version of him. It's got to be that team's version.
Patrick
I mean-
Peterson's a good one. Yeah, that's
Niners had Dion technically in his prime.
Yeah.
I mean, they would definitely be a part of the roster. I don't know if necessarily they're in the lineup, but I mean,
They'd be a part of the roster. I just don't know if there'd be any starters. That's what I was saying.
Dude, this is great. We'll do a draft and then we'll post the teams and we'll have people vote as to who the best team is. That'll be great. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Propa. You listen. I mean, my God. Maybe we'll bring you on in the offseason to do the show. You can be Roger Goodell for us,
dude. Our offensive line.
Oh, it'd be insane.
I mean,
Jake's
like,
already.
Orlando
He's gonna get the
Pace
pen and
isn't
paper
even,
out after this.
Yeah, Orlando Pace isn't even playing over Walter Jones. There you go.
That's
Just throw him on the right side, man. No, well then we got Trent in this on too.
Oh, and we got Andrew Whitworth and
We might just
Jackie
have all of our
Slater.
tackles playing interior
Jeez.
offensive line positions. You know, where it's Whitworth and then Trent and then Walter and Orlando. Yeah, just get the best.
We just have a
five out
rotation.
there. Yeah.
Maybe
What are
we'll
you
do this
expecting?
the first show after the Bills beat either the Rams or the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, and we're trying to fill some space, and then we'll do this. All right, sounds good.
That'll happen. Okay.
Looking forward to it. Brent.
So hold on. Did somebody in the chat just say Sean Alexander, like Marshall Falk, wasn't in this division? What are we talking about? Sean Alexander.
Hey, Sean
I
Alexander
like
was
Sean
really good,
Alexander.
but like,
Yeah.
But I mean, you got
prime
Falk,
Todd
you got
Gurley.
Dickerson. I mean,
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think Dickerson or
Dickerson,
Falk.
exactly.
I think that's where it's
Dickerson, yeah.
Dickerson and Falk would be the 1-2 on that
Yeah.
one.
you
that'd
got
be the
Kurt
one, too.
Warner, and I'm not talking about the Rams. Kurt Warner, just kidding.
I
He also played
forgot
for the
about
Rams.
Dickerson. Yeah.
Yeah.
49ers. They have
Well, yeah, we got a few ourselves, but
Guys, we're not
Roger
going to have a
Craig,
show to do in the
Ricky
offseason.
Watters.
We're not
yeah,
going
let's
to. You're ruining the show. I mean, we're burying the lead.
I mean, that'll be people will forget what we said by the time that happens.
No, they are dialed in. Is the NFC West Roundtable viewers
That's
dialed
fair.
in? As is Bren with a capital T. If NFC West was a human centipede, okay, here we go. Hawks are the head. Rams are second. Not sure between the other two, but they both eaten it. Don't ban me, please. I will return. You're the head of that concoction, Brandon. So congrats.
Hey,
to you.
if I got to be on the human centipedes, I got to be at the front of that train. You know what I mean? I ain't running caboose.
My God, it's the only place. To be.
No comment.
Honestly, the Rams right behind the Seahawks. The Rams being in the second in the human centipede would arguably be one of the worst places to be. The second best place would be the last spot.
I'm not getting into this. What the fuck? Like, no.
And we just have another show idea for an episode later on in the
Nope,
offseason.
we do not.
Screenshot that. We will definitely be coming back to this. Brent, appreciate you. Catalyst. Mike McDonald has won 11 straight road games. Wow. How about that poll from Catalyst?
Yeah, I think it's just 10. So I don't think we're quite to 11, but I think still nonetheless, 10 straight road games for a guy that's a second-year head coach and one of the youngest head coaches in the NFL to pull that off is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is double digits, man. That's crazy. Propa, Good to see you again. Jesse, we might be on Team Z-Bot in February to stop our division rival from winning a Super Bowl on our field. Come on down, gang.
You guys are joining
Listen,
up. Come on.
Josh Allen's my favorite player in the league. So if the 49ers are not in the Super Bowl, then I'm definitely going with Josh Allen. Yes, of course.
It's gonna be good to have you guys. It's gonna be right before our big draft of the all-time teams in the NFC West, like I just alluded to. It's gonna be great. Joseph Ernberg, Niners should punt and focus on draft and health.
Don't punt, but yeah,
They're gonna
they
make
didn't
the
make any
playoffs,
trades,
though.
so yeah, we'll take it.
I think just punt by they weren't active at the deadline, and I think that's okay. And letting things play out. They were smart to do
Yeah,
that.
I'm fine with that.
Well, you said it was a seller's market, which it was. They didn't want to pay top dollar. I get it.
Yeah. Knuckles. Jake, Rams winning the NFC West. Our team is way better than Seattle and the Niners. Sam Darnold is just going to choke and see ghosts.
I just don't agree with that. The Rams are the best team, but I just think this idea that they're way better than Seattle, I don't think you're giving enough credit to who Seattle really is. They're all three phases team. The Rams are struggling on the special teams side of things. That's something you have to at least admit. But yeah, I mean, I think that tiebreaker goes to the better quarterback for sure. But I'm also like, Brandon has reeled me in on the Sam Darnold thing, just like he did last year with Geno Smith. And at this point, it just seems like
you shouldn't have let him really in with Geno Smith because that sure looks horrible now.
Well,
I didn't say Geno's good on the Raiders.
He didn't have any issue beating your 49ers last year, now did he? So
I mean, yeah, when Bosa went out, yeah, that was his first time he beat him. Good, congratulations.
With his legs too.
We were 6 wins last year.
What a
You ever want to see Jesse sweat? Go back and watch him at halftime of Geno Smith's first year when they got into the playoffs and they were ahead at the Niners on the road with a completely destroyed roster at that point. Just look at the sweat just dripping down the sides of his temples at that time. It was quite a sight.
Wave like the audio file. Will the Cards and Rams let Shaheed punish them or K9? Also ironic that Reek stays, but Sauce was traded. Yeah, the Sauce trade today, nobody saw that coming. That was wild. And I got to tell you, I think the Jets won that trade, to be frank.
Yeah.
Now, what they do with the draft picks, however, that's one thing, but they got a haul, guys.
I mean, it depends on the Colts. I mean, if the Colts win the Super Bowl, then they win the trade. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, I think the Colts could have a one-off year here where they come back down to earth next year. Let's face it, they still have to sign Daniel Jones to a contract extension.
Yeah.
I could easily see him coming right back down to earth and them have handed them a top 10 pick when we get to the 2 years out point.
No, that's absolutely fair. And I just think people were like, why don't you want Jalen Waddle? I'm like, it doesn't mean I think a player's bad. I mean, I don't understand why all these fat contracts are being traded away like they're nothing. That's what I don't get. I wouldn't be trading away like top picks for that contract. I was talking about trading away for Brian Thomas Jr., who I'd have, control over, until 2029. He's cost effective. Like, that is who I would be giving up. To give up 2 first-round picks for a guy that you're already going to have to pay a lot of money, and that contract was done by the Jets, that was my one holdup, where it's like, why do they have to trade 2 first-rounders away for that contract? That I didn't understand.
Yeah, 2 first-rounders, a young receiver, and, to your point, $131 million, 70 of which is guaranteed. I mean, that is a massive, massive move that needs to pay off.
They did not want A.D. Mitchell. They were the poor guy. I mean, they were done with him.
Daza. I hear a lot of Niners fans whining.
Whinging.
Whinging. Is that a thing?
It's a British term.
All right, I'm going to use that one. Word of the day, whinging that a trade wasn't made, but who's to say whoever they traded for wouldn't have also got injured?
The curse is like a big shadow over the top of this organization right now.
About that.
Would you have traded a second for Jermaine Johnson, Jesse?
No.
Oh, Lord.
See, I wouldn't have done that either. I thought that was way too much. So
feed me more. If you guys were asked the Stephon Diggs question, who most likely the most voted? If you know, walking up to Jesse tweet made my day. Waking up to Jesse tweet made my day.
I don't know.
The only the Stephon question, I think, was the Minnesota Vikings thing that they did back in the day where they're asking about who would you like date your girlfriend? And literally every Viking player in the locker room said Stephon Diggs.
Like, wow, I'm a nice guy.
That was great.
Yeah, that probably. I don't know about that now. I don't know if would be the choice now. Stephon Diggs seems to be pretty grimy.
Yeah, that's probably true. No, they said they wouldn't. Wouldn't let him.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
said
Oh, wouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wouldn't let
Okay.
him.
And then they told him,
He was
like
grimy back
the
then.
person interviewing, he's like, "Come on, I'm a nice guy." Like,
Yeah.
And he didn't sound convincing in the least either. Voice just went right up through when he said it. Like,
oh yeah.
So, but somebody said that about me. That's funny. I'm,
No, they said which
Very
of us
loyal.
would be, which of us, I guess I think he was intimating would be the one.
oh, okay.
If you were asked the three.
Knuckles back to the plate saying, "Go Rams." Sam is going to choke in the big time games. This is now the third ghost reference for Sam Darnold on this episode.
He
Third
might,
ghost.
but I mean, I don't know. I just don't think it's that. I don't think the Rams are so much better than Seattle. I think they're the best team, but I really think, and I mean, I was saying this, I think Seattle is incredibly underrated even still.
Brandon, I thought you were about to go off there. But that's fine. That's fine. That's totally
No,
fine.
he's
Let
already
the play
said
do the
that-
talking.
I can only speak to the ghost thing so much when it's just that's all they got. It speaks to, I mean, how little you've got of a refuge now to really pick at Sam, and that all you really can do is reference either ghost or a playoff game. You've lost every other weapon in your arsenal to make your case.
Spot on. Dylan, finally, Abe Lucas can play versus the Rams.
He's been
OBJ
playing
cross.
better and better this year after he's
We're a
finally
game away. Hopefully, he can stay healthy before then. Like, don't
That's
jinx
true.
it. This is
That's
a
true.
jinx.
But those guys have been a big part of why our offensive line has been so good, and Sam is getting so very little hit and so very little sacked is because your two tackles on either side have been absolute pillars.
Feed me more. Brando, Christopher Walken, moonwalking the Cards.
Easy day at the office. Feed me, no problem. I'm telling you, it's going to be like Michael 86. Again, you watch. We're going to have brisket. No, not brisket. We're going to have some brisket. Cook them up now, please. Fucking hungry.
Humdinger. Congratulations, Papa, on new baby. Thank you, Humdinger. Look at my pick. A young Larry Kruger.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Kruger's he's he's a 49ers. He used to be like
Look at
local
that
radio
full-head
for
hair,
years and
yeah,
years, but
full-head hair,
yeah,
Jesse.
now he's on YouTube. That's great. I love it.
Oh my God. I would
Love it.
never
That's a
guess
great picture.
that thing. That's a bushel he's got there.
Duce
now
is saying,
He's
oh,
balling
go ahead.
out.
Sorry, Brandon.
No, he's all the way. So, oh yeah, let's go.
Humdinger. I like that name too, by the way. Duce, congratulations, Z. Didn't know. Thank you so much, my friend. I really, really appreciate it. Nitsu, JSN, Shaheed, and Horton going to play lights out on Sunday. Still wish the Hawks would have traded for some offensive line players, Brandon.
Only one offensive lineman was moved today throughout the league, and Seattle was not the only team that was looking for offensive line help. It just says that the prime pump prices were too expensive, and you just had to pass. And I understand.
Alex, double X. So are we not going to talk about Kyler's injury magically getting worse right before the COD launch?
Oh my
Also,
God.
congrats to Big Booty Bot for making Baby Bot. Freddie K coming in, by the way, with the congratulations. Chacho with the congrats. What did I do to deserve you guys? You guys are the best. Seriously. Thank you so much for the love. I really, really do appreciate it. I will bring Baby Bot on the show at some point so you can all meet him or her. We have no idea what the gender is, by the way. I'm a gambling man, so we are a week away from finding out, and that'll be fun.
So no gender reveal.
No gender reveal. The gender reveal will be happening in real time. It'll be
Wow.
happening live and in person. Marky Sanchez, I appreciate the shirt, Jake, as a former first responder. A quick thank you to all first responders and service members. Thank you guys for everything. Well said, Mark.
Oh yeah. No, I
Appreciate it.
love this shirt, and I love that all the proceeds, went to the LA Fire Department, because I feel like some people have forgotten, but that was brutal last year. Everything that LA had to go through, and that's why I was like, I haven't worn this in a while, so I figured it was about time to break it out.
They wear it like all on the sideline in one game too?
Yes, in Arizona for the playoff game.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Joey Umberg, as a Niners fan, Rams 42, 2-9, 6-11 incoming. Not a single win remains, according to Joe.
Joseph.
David Galt, Brandon, thought experiment. If Legion of Boom coached by McDonald via a time machine, how good would they have been?
I think they would have been good. I do think a lot of the Legion of Boom would have been fitted a little bit to more of a defense that wasn't going to be as multiple as what Mike runs versus kind of more of the cover three play to the same. But I mean, I don't know. I'd be a little bit on edge of whether or not he would get more out of them, because it was kind of the right place, right time where offenses were in the NFL. And then some of the simplicity of the scheme was part of what allowed those guys to do what they did with their natural talent and ability. Mike's more of a guy to me that can do so many variety of things that I don't know if that was the required as much as from that defense. They were able to be exceptional without the variety of things.
Jay Gundy, number 3 one-arm tackle Debo.
Yeah, Nick Emanwari came up in the bubble screen game. Part of why you have him out there in like that Kyle Hamilton role is now when you run a bubble screen with 2 wide receivers out there, you're having a wide receiver try to block essentially Emanwari, who's a safety and a big-ass safety at that. And what he did is he threw him back 3 yards, and then he made Debo look small, hooked him up around the waist, brought him right down. This guy is going to be, I know I've banged this too much already, and you guys are probably tired of me hearing it, but this guy is going to be a difference maker for time to come, and he has been awesome from the moment he stepped on the football field for us.
CD Woods putting the bow on the Sam Darnold ghost conversation by saying JSN is the ghost that disappears in front of the defense's eyes. I love it. We're about to disappear from your computer and phone screens in just a second. But before we bounce out, I really want to thank everyone this evening. This was an incredible show, nearly 2 hours, and we had over 1,000 of you concurrent in the building throughout. So we really, really do appreciate every single last one of you. Not only the viewership, but the super chats as well. You guys are the best. As we now enter into the second half of the season, it's going to be incredible based on how tight the NFC is and, of course, how tight this division is. Alex hits us with one more saying, flaming table gender reveal, missed opportunity. Hey, we still got time, Alex. We still got time. Maybe I can find a way to do that in the hospital. And if there's any repercussions from that, we're already in the hospital if we sustain any injury. So not that bad.
A man with a plan.
Damn right. I got to run it by the wife, though. I'll see if she's down for that. I'm sure she'll sign up for that in a heartbeat. Anyway, we're going to sign up for some awesome football within this division in week 10. We can't wait to see how it goes down. We can't wait to see you right back where you are right now this time next week, Tuesday evening, 9 p.m. Eastern on the NFC West Roundtable YouTube channel. But for now, that's going to do it for this episode. For Brandon, Mike, Jesse, and Jake, I'm your host, Z-Bot. Thanks so much, as always, for tuning into the NFC West Roundtable, and we'll see you on the next.
Roundtable Sports Network is your one-stop shop for all things NFL, with daily live shows covering all 8 divisions in the league, hosted by the best content creators on the web, all on one network. Catch the AFC East live every Monday at 7 p.m. and on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. The AFC North Roundtable live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. The AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. The NFC East Roundtable live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. The NFC West Roundtable live at 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. The NFC North Roundtable is at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, and the NFC South Roundtable is live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. EST. And of course, fourth and forever, the flagship show of Roundtable Sports Network, covering all things NFL at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel. Real coverage, real fans.